Big time Snarf Talk in the house.
Oh, we're back on a Snarf Madness Friday.
It is a Snarf Madness Friday, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a casual Friday this week, Chris.
No, look at Jerry.
And if you listened to the episode 2 weeks ago, 65, Casual Friday, you will hear an argument between Chris and I about wearing clothes, like nice clothes compared to not nice clothes, or like casual clothes, I guess you would say. And I said that people that wore nicer clothes, you would buy things from before you would buy things from people in casual clothes. Because it's just like a preset thing in your mind. Like you immediately walk in a room and judge somebody, whether you try to or not. You'll immediately walk in the room, judge somebody. And
well, you will, because you're a judgy person.
Everybody does. Well, you think you're beyond. You think you're above that. You're not. I guarantee you have judgments of people, whether you want to do it or not.
Do you judge people if they have tattoos or piercings?
Not me. I don't judge anybody.
No, but I'm saying, like, if a guy walked in, two people walked in, and one guy said that he wanted to sell you insurance, and he was wearing just a Carhartt shirt and a hat, and said, "I've got these awesome insurance."
Basically,
plans.
if he looked like trash, like you, is what Jerry's saying.
No, I'm not.
What type
I'm saying
of insurance is he selling me? Though?
It doesn't matter. Just
it does, because if he shows up wearing a suit and he's trying to sell me like insurance for a farm, I'm not going to buy it for him.
Why wouldn't you?
Because
I wouldn't. I won't buy anything from anybody in a suit.
I want to buy it from
Yes, you do.
I want to buy
You've
it from
never
the guy
bought
who looks like he's going to go work on the farm with me.
I think you guys are just being argumentative. I guarantee you would.
You dress for the job you want, Jerry. And that's
guarantee
clearly what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I'm looking good.
To be
it's going to blow up our YouTube. Go to YouTube and see how I'm dressed.
Holds the strings and manages people.
Yeah.
One of those assholes.
Wait, isn't that what you do?
No.
You don't manage anybody.
I'm in the dirt with my people.
Okay. Oh, sure you are. Sure you are. A lot of finger pointing in this farm.
No, that's actually true, though. Because he has
a lot of finger pointing.
iTrees has done some work around my house, and Chris was
Anyway, if you look at the YouTube video, look a lot better than these two gentlemen right now. And one of those gentlemen is Alex.
Hey, guys.
He's back.
I'm back.
He is back in the Snarf Talk house.
For last time for quite a while.
Didn't we have like a rap for that?
We're back in the house. The Snarf Talk house.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was more to it.
That's so bad.
Not really a rap.
Yeah, it was. It was like Grandmaster Flash.
It was like a super rap when we originally did it.
We had a whole talk about it in Carta Encyclopedia. My brother's doing bad with my mother's TV. She says she watches too much. She said it's not healthy.
I like it.
That's like one of the first rap songs.
We screwed that up though on who was the first one.
Yeah, wasn't it Grandmaster Flash?
Yeah, but I think we said it was somebody else.
No, Dude said it was somebody else.
Oh, that's right. Dude. He's not invited back.
So, Alex is back, but he's leaving us to go back to the world of the working because he's no longer in casts.
No.
His scars have kind of
fully
subsided.
Healed.
Wow, look at his hands.
And he has full use of his hands.
I do.
Any pain whatsoever. Any residual. Feels like the day you were born.
Well, I don't.
The moment you slid out of your mother's vagina. That's what it feels like right now.
Wow. Whoa.
That's fresh.
I was C-section, so that didn't happen.
Okay.
Oh, that's still feeling fresh.
You don't get a head like this out of that.
Very true. Very round.
Large head. Mm-hmm. Family curse.
Okay. So you're here this week, and this is the first week that we are doing our what?
Snarf Madness.
The madness begins.
Yeah, the madness begins right now.
And we're getting right into it.
We even delayed it a week because we were waiting on some people's brackets.
Late entries.
A bunch of brackets. I'll give you guys one more chance. If you're listening right now, turn it off, fill out your bracket, and get it in.
Yes.
Right now until next week. And whenever you get it in after that, you can finish listening to the rest of the episode. We trust you.
We do.
To not listen ahead. And if you're going to come up with all the exact same picks as us, we're going to know you were
cheaters,
cheating, lying, dirty
Well,
scoundrel.
Question.
Okay.
Is this like an immediate out?
No, this won't be out till.
So really, they have another week. To get you.
People. Well, yes, they have another week. Plus, if you pause this, you technically have another week.
You do.
To
just get a bracket into us like as soon as possible, please.
Yeah. So we're gonna do it right off. We're gonna do Snarf Madness right out of the gate every week
for the next 6 weeks.
For the next maybe even more than that, because here's what we're gonna do. we decided we were just going to score the East and West brackets this week.
Yep.
Because it's too many in these early rounds.
Yes.
lot.
If we split the first round, though,
We'll
and
split the
then
first round, and then we'll do
a whole round each week.
then we'll do a whole round each week to round it out. And probably the last week we might do the championship and
And the Final Four.
Final Four at
Yeah.
some time or something.
Okay.
We'll see. But anyway, it'll probably run for
5 weeks at
or
least.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're gonna try and shoot for it to be like maybe half the episode, and then have a regular episode afterwards. But
Yeah, we're going to be talking about stuff after this because we got a lot of things to cover. This is going to probably blend into 2 episodes because there's been a lot of things going on in
we've
the Snarf
we've
world.
watched a bunch. I know we want to do a little review now that everybody here has seen Knives Out,
Yes,
and we want to talk about our C2E2 experience.
which we went last Friday, and it was amazing.
Yeah, 2 Fridays ago now, if you're listening.
Yeah, gosh, it was, wasn't it?
Time flies, Jerry.
It's unbelievable how fast time just keeps on ticking.
Time keeps on ticking, ticking, ticking into the future.
Man, we're good. Seal, 97. 94.
Is that really Seal?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
He sang that song, and it's in Space Jam.
Huh.
Fly Like an Eagle is Seal.
He sang it. In Space Jam.
Isn't
think
it
he did.
R. Kelly or something?
No.
I was going to
You know
grab my
what? It
phone.
might be our.
No, it's definitely Seal.
No.
It's Seal.
Oh, wait.
right.
Was I right?
You're thinking of the other. What's the R. Kelly song?
Ignition?
No, no.
Piss on you? No? Too soon?
Underage
Something
is
about
my jam.
wings.
Something about... No, that's also Seal, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm lost here.
Fly like an eagle?
I'm lost in
what
ignition.
you were
Is that was I
Question
just
on.
singing?
We're just
Oh, okay.
Christian hot at the kitchen.
So I
Rolling
appreciate
the-
you guys letting
All
me,
right.
as the former one of the Snarf champions,
Yeah,
be here.
former.
You were.
It was almost as if it was planned.
And
It was.
I
right?
would just like to ask you both, what did the winners receive last year?
I don't know, what did the winners receive?
I don't know, because in a previous episode it was said that I got a gift card.
You did get a gift
I
card.
got no gift card. I got
That was your job.
a t-shirt that was thrown at me and said, "This is the biggest we got. Deal with it." A small handful
I
of
remember
stickers.
getting
I mean,
No.
gift cards.
Because I
you remember getting
probably
them.
used them.
Okay, well,
I don't want the gift card. I'm just.
Well, you're not gonna get the gift
I
card.
wanted to give you a bunch of shit.
that's a foregone
Let's
conclusion.
get this straight. You're not getting a gift card.
But I will promise any listener listening right now that I swear upon the golden snarf that you will receive a $50 gift card,
A trophy.
I'll just
a
have to win
trophy,
again.
a T-shirt that may or may not come for months afterwards,
And a Snarf.
and a bunch of stickers,
and be a size small.
And are we
and-
doing a Snarf bundle of
and a
Snarf?
bundle or snarf. One bundle or snarf.
Boy.
So it's a $200 cash and prizes. So if you're listening and you haven't sent in a bracket, stop it. The tape. Stop the tape.
Yeah.
Get your bracket in because you don't want to miss out on these fabulous cash prizes. And I will most certainly not screw you over like I did to young Alex. But
Here's
he got
another
a better
thing.
reward.
Maybe Zach
he
and
became a
Maggie-
frequent guest.
He gets to be on the show.
Maybe Zach and Maggie got them.
And guess what,
Got
guys?
both of them.
Well, probably.
They might have.
Yeah, they probably did.
We got new stickers here.
Get on the YouTubes if you're not on
Look
it
at
and
that.
check out the sticker.
Snarf Talk Podcast. New sticker
Look at that.
designed by
Basil,
Basil
Beatles.
Beatles, Jerry's commander in the army.
Nope.
Guy's got a sweet.
Wasn't it
Convoy commander, but he was a staff sergeant.
It's a great name.
convoy commander? And I said commander.
I know, but a commander is like in charge of the unit. He was a convoy commander, but which is a staff sergeant. Call him by his
Cobra
rank.
commander.
Call him by his rank, man.
Cobra Kai.
Gotta
I wanna-
call him by his rank.
I
Sweep the leg.
anyway. Regardless, new sticker. If you want that sticker, if you join our Patreon, patreon.com/snarfcomics, and even for the $1 level, you will get stickers. Anytime we get a new sticker, you'll get one. For the $5 level, you'll get that plus bonus podcast materials. You can also just email us, and we'll probably send you a sticker. So-
Most likely.
The bonus pods are well worth it to everyone.
Aren't they?
I'll tell
and we're a
you
little
right
behind.
now.
We got to release some new ones, right?
The stickers?
No, the bonus pods.
Yeah, we haven't released an actual podcast on Patreon in a little bit.
Yeah, we were trying, shooting for a couple a month. So we might be 1 or 2 behind.
Here's the
We'll
problem,
get 'em back
guys,
up.
is that we have to record those, and they normally go late.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll
I
get them.
wake up
We'll
early.
get some more up there. So if you're a Patreon, don't you worry.
We'll get you. So are we ready?
We're ready. We're ready for the Snarf Madness.
Okay, if you haven't picked your bracket and you're going to, don't listen to
and
this.
also, Alex is going to chime in with his picks. However, his picks are irrelevant.
Did you say elephant?
Irrelevant.
You guys are
Irrelevant.
saying. You guys are saying elephant.
Just like all your picks at home are irrelevant. The only picks that matter are me and Jerry because we are the Primus.
Yeah, we are the Primus. My name is Mud.
And and
Are you an owner?
that's good. Anyway,
Boy, these coughs are gonna be.
yeah, I know. Sorry, me and
I
Alex
too.
both have a cough.
It's
I don't. It's because I drink water.
It's because you flex.
I do. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I flex really hard and all sickness goes away. I'm serious. Try it.
Okay.
You need to flex more often.
All right, so we're gonna start in the East bracket. That is your top left.
The very top left
Very
corner.
top left. We got a lover's quarrel, a lover's duel.
It
if you
is. I like that.
will.
Yes.
And by the way, I've had some people ask me this. And here's the deal. I took all of the characters and I put them in a random, and I just put them randomly in there.
Yep.
And then I put them in a random bracket generator program that randomizes them all. So there is no, it's completely
There's
random.
no rhyme or reason to any of this.
no
and
seeds.
And I took the seeds off. I had an option on this bracket generator to just remove seeding completely.
I tell you
which
what,
I did.
it gave us some doozies.
Yeah, there's a couple that we're gonna do today that were difficult for me.
There's one for sure that I didn't necessarily have a hard time with, but I just did not like seeing the pairing at all because I wanted one of them to go to the second round. But it's the way the bracket
Well,
crumbles.
Did you see the picture that I sent you while I was
Yes.
filling mine out?
Yes.
That
I-
was
I forgot to text
single
you back on that.
hardest decision that I've probably made in my life.
Yes.
Was that.
Yeah,
I agree.
I will have
That's-
it.
And because I'm confident you guys will also have that difficult decision to make.
Yes, probably.
Okay, we're gonna start in the top left. We got Elektra versus Daredevil.
Yeah, Elektra versus Daredevil. You can go.
Okay, I'll go first. Anybody remember the goal is to match our brackets.
Correct.
So if anybody's trying to match my bracket and you don't, and you're listening to this podcast, you know that Daredevil is one of, if not my favorite comic book character of all time. So for me, it's an easy one. It's Daredevil for the win on this one.
I'm in the same boat. The newest run of Daredevil that's out right now, if you guys are not reading it, you need to read it because it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's by
Who's writing it now?
oh shoot, why can't I think of his name? It's
Because you can't think of anybody's name ever.
I never can. Whenever I'm sitting in front of this microphone, I can never think of their name.
Unless it's Seal.
Unless it's Seal, yeah, or Primus. I can think of Primus song names. Are you looking it up?
No, it's Chip Zdarsky.
Zdarsky.
Chip Zdarsky.
Yes. He's doing a phenomenal job. It's a great run. I picked Daredevil because I don't really necessarily care for Elektra that much, to be honest.
Would you get Elektra without Daredevil?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Elektra
yeah, you wouldn't.
is a break off of the Daredevil franchise. However,
But that doesn't
went
take
on
away
to
from the
do
character.
her own
I don't think.
comics and
Yeah,
have
I
her
know.
own runs.
In a whole movie.
I love Elektra. Don't get me wrong. I actually have I have a lot of Elektra, but I have the 4-issue arc where she gets killed.
Sure.
I bought it last year on eBay. Frank Miller. It was an awesome buy. They're super nice comics. I need to have them graded. What
Nice.
did you have, Alex?
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Wow.
I know you well enough.
Yeah.
Daredevil is a highlight of my bracket.
So if we're gonna go
For Chris,
if
he
we
is
were going to talk more in depth about characters as we go through,
Sure.
pick one. Your favorite iteration of Daredevil, an all medium.
My favorite iteration of Daredevil, all medium. Wow. Certainly not the movie.
Affleck.
Gosh, this seems like a cop-out. It's not a cop-out, but it's probably the new run of Daredevil. I really, really enjoy it. It's him coming out of the hospital after almost dying And this is obviously a trope of Daredevil. He's dealt with this before, but I really like how they've captured the fact that Daredevil is literally a part of the man now. He can't even basically survive without being Daredevil. And they play into that really hard. And I love the art. I love the way he looks. I love the way he thinks, his speech, like everything about him in that comic book run. I really, really enjoy. I would say after that, I would have to go. Well, it doesn't matter. That's my pick.
Yeah. I mean, no love for Netflix.
I love Netflix. That's what I was gonna say. It would probably be my second pick because I did love that show so much. I love what's his name? David Cox, Michael Cox, something Cox,
Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox.
You got the Cox right, Jerry.
I did get the Cox right, and that I will never forget.
More power to you there.
And
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I absolutely love it. I think it's really great. It would probably be my number one pick had this comic book run not come out.
Yeah. Do you got any of your favorite? What's your favorite iteration of Daredevil?
It'd be the Netflix. I haven't.
You haven't dove
That's
deep?
the one thing that I'm lack in the whole comic thing is I don't read.
You can't read?
That's fine.
I can't.
Sucks. I'm sorry.
But you'd think with the pictures it would help me.
I know you would
It
think.
doesn't.
It doesn't. It makes it harder, actually. My favorite iteration, which wasn't my first experience with Daredevil, but going back to the Frank Miller run, the Born Again run, which is kind of the quintessential.
It is, and I knew you were going to pick that.
And it kind of changes that character and also kind of changes comics in a way.
Big time.
It's one of the most important runs of a comic book ever made. And I love it. But, after that, the Mark Waid run is really, really good from, 10 years ago. It's a little lighter fare, and he's kind of like a swashbuckling adventurer.
Yeah, it's really fun.
It's a fun book. Those are my two favorites. So we'll go on to our next one, which is Dr. Manhattan versus Green Lantern.
Oh, man. I know what my pick is.
Well, go first.
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan for you. Why is that?
Oh, he's like so intense. Everything about him is intense. I want to hate the crap out of this guy, but I don't because I understand that he literally doesn't have control of his mind anymore. It's not a human. He's not a human being. You think of him as a human being because he was changed over because you see him as a human first. But he's like so beyond. He's basically godlike to where he doesn't have the same feelings as humans. So when he talks about like eradicating people, almost like Thanos in a way, and the different things, like he just has no emotion or heart for people whatsoever.
And you always got to color what you're thinking about the fact that he can see the past, present, and the future simultaneously.
Exactly.
So he already knows what's the best course of action.
Yes, exactly. But he doesn't have any feeling. He just knows what is going to happen. So it is what it is with him. And I don't know. I like him a lot. Green Lantern is fine. He's a great character, but I don't know. I think Dr. Manhattan just has more to him that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And I really like how powerful he is. They never really use it to his full potential because if they did, he'd just like blow up the earth.
Yeah.
But
well, I don't think he wants to blow up the earth.
he doesn't, but he could.
Yeah.
And I like him because of that.
What about you, Alex?
I do.
I said Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan.
Oh.
Why'd you pick that?
I just figured that's what you guys would pick.
That's right, because you don't matter and you're not important.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm trying to guess what you guys are going to
My pick on this one would be Green Lantern.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You don't have any love for Dr. Manhattan, huh?
I'm not a huge, fan necessarily of either one. I've never been a huge Dr. Manhattan fan. Mm-hmm. My favorite iteration of him has been in the new Watchmen show. I really liked what they did with Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I was a huge fan of him back from the book.
No? You gotta love to hate him.
Yeah, I guess
to love him.
he's kind of an annoying character, I think, in some ways.
Why?
First of all, he has like the ability to do like anything.
Yes.
But he always makes like stupid decisions or selfish decisions, or like he is allowed to think that he's killing people with radioactive poisoning, but he's not.
Right.
But he's tricked into it by Ozymandias, right? Isn't that how the storyline goes?
It's true.
I don't know. In either case, my exposure to that character has been essentially just the Watchmen graphic novel.
Sure.
And then more recently the show, which he's a side character in. Green
Very much so.
Lantern, you're talking about a staple character for generations now.
Honestly, I like the iteration in the movie.
And
The Zack Snyder movie. Isn't it Zack Snyder?
oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's probably the best one.
I like that iteration the best because
Kind of forgot about that.
it does give him a little more heart because of the love affair there.
But I'm gonna go with Green Lantern. I've always kind of been intrigued by Green Lantern, but I've never really gone back and dove super deep into it. And I feel like I should. I feel like there's a lot of good storyline there. People say that that's one of the better DC characters.
Yeah.
But I do remember the show, the Justice League show from the 90s. And that was John Edwards, right?
Yes, it was John Edwards. It wasn't
Hal Jordan.
yeah, or John Stewart.
John Stewart.
Yes,
John
Stewart.
Edwards
No.
was the medium guy on TV.
Okay.
Crossing over.
Oh, I remember that
Yeah,
show.
I think he was a fraud.
Really?
Yeah, he might have went to jail.
Oh, like in real life, you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's an issue.
They did something about him on FaceTime.
I think he ended up
South
like
Park.
stealing.
Yeah, he like stole money.
He
or-
tricked people into telling them like their deepest
Yeah,
things.
it's
and
weird.
Went on to steal from them or something.
Oh, okay. So that's not true then, huh? You can't do that stuff?
But Green Lantern, I always liked the whole color yellow thing. How that was like his nemesis, the color yellow.
Oh, and I hate the color yellow. It is my least favorite
wearing
color
yellow.
of all time.
You're wearing it.
I know. I hate it. I do. I hate yellow. I hate it with a passion. So I'm kind of like Green Lantern.
What about the song?
I liked my favorite iteration. What do I keep saying? Iteration would probably be the Ryan Reynolds movie from 2011.
Of course it would. Yeah. Right.
No, I actually didn't think it was a bad movie though.
No, I like it.
My favorite part of Deadpool, one of my favorite parts is when he's getting wheeled in on a gurney and talking about his suit. Just don't make the suit green.
Yeah.
But I like Green Lantern, and what I really do like is Green Lantern Corps. So I did read a bunch
Right.
of those comics, and they kind of are like an intergalactic police force. Mm-hmm. And I think it's cool. I think going forward, DC has a lot of future potential with that franchise if they go the direction of
They
the
have
Green
to use
Lantern
it.
Corps and do it like Guardians of the Galaxy. I think they're golden then.
Did you guys?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that would be really fun.
Did you guys know? Little spoiler here about Green Arrow. Did you know that they heavily teased that Diggle would be a Green Lantern?
Yes.
And they completed that tease at the end
Yes.
of the series.
I did see that. I saw the images of him
That's
as
interesting.
that. And
I like Diggle.
you like Diggle?
Whether or not it'll become an actual show, I don't know. I
It
doubt
won't. Like
but
CW stuff is always going to be kept separate from any movie stuff.
Right.
But
Why can't they
did.
do Green Lantern?
But they did cross over Ezra Miller into the
Yeah.
TV world.
So it's a multiverse.
Right.
Not anymore.
Now it's over. They all died.
Okay, next one.
Next.
We got Winter Soldier versus Supergirl.
This is kind of an easy one for me, to be honest.
Okay, Supergirl.
Winter Soldier.
Oh,
That's who I'm picking. Winter Soldier. He's just a better character all around. I love the whole Bucky Barnes, Captain America dynamic. Winter Soldier's just a way better character, and that's my pick.
Alex.
No. My picks don't matter. Just you do your picks and then
Just
I'll
trying to be nice.
and then
Yeah.
you guys can just quickly say, well, what'd you pick?
Okay. I picked Winter Soldier, obviously. If
Yes.
you listen, then you know it's one of my favorite characters. I've collected the book now for like 15 years.
Mm-hmm. You have.
Going back, I think, to the Brubaker run, I got a bunch of those, which was defining for that
I was
character.
going to say, talk about your favorite iteration
That's
at
it.
Brubaker.
Yeah, Ed Brubaker is the beginning, middle, and end of Winter
Mm-hmm.
Soldier. But as we've recently learned, and I haven't read it, Kyle Higgins has a pretty cool.
Yeah, I did read some of that. I haven't finished it.
That's newer. He's not doing it
so-
anymore, but it's a newer run.
It was only 12 issues, I think.
And we just listened to him talk about it at C2E2 last week, how he couldn't go back and retread any story because Brubaker was so definitive on it.
Yeah.
So he had to go a different direction, and he turned Winter Soldier essentially into like a support group for Hydra agents that wanted to get out
Yeah, he was like the guy who got them out of the business.
and got them into like witness protection and then protected them.
And it's actually based out of Chicago.
Yeah.
Like the story is Winter Soldier based in Chicago, trying to get, all of these, evil people into not necessarily the good side, but just not doing that work
Away
anymore.
from their old life. Yeah. But it's a fantastic character, and highly recommend that always as like an entry point for people that want to get into
I think
superhero comics.
He looks so cool too.
Yeah, and it's great character. What'd you pick?
I picked Winter Soldier.
I figured.
Aha.
Supergirl, I don't know anything about other than the TV show.
I don't really either. I know it's.
I like the TV show. It's a good show, but
it's Superman's cousin,
Right.
and she's actually older than him. But no, I never really got into it. I've never really been a huge Superman fan. That's well
we'll
known.
talk about that later.
It's not Superman. It's Supergirl. It's different.
No, I know. I'm saying like what I'm pointing out is that like Supergirl didn't stand a chance because I don't really care for.
I know.
It's
What
not
is
that
it?
I don't care for Superman.
Kara Zor-El or Kara El?
Yes.
Kara.
Kara?
Oh, you're right.
Kara.
Okay.
All right, we have Gojira.
Godzilla. Godzilla.
And The Flash.
Godzilla and the Flash.
This is a tough one for you.
I know.
Because you like them big monsters.
I do love a big monster movie, man. And I've always loved Godzilla. I used to watch the old school Godzilla movies all the time growing up. Like the guys in the rubber suit stomping through fake cities. And then like Godzilla vs. King Kong was an amazing movie. I've
doing
watched
that again.
I know, and I'm so excited for it.
What about the last one?
I saw it. I
Yeah, I know.
reviewed it on the
Did
show.
you? I don't remember if you liked it or not.
I did like it. I just thought that they needed a little more Godzilla.
I was going to watch it the other
But
day
I-
on an airplane, and I'm like, I better not watch this on an airplane.
Why?
It just feels like it needs to be on a bigger screen.
Oh, I agree. It does.
No. I mean, I have my iPad, but
I mean, it would work either way. I liked the movie. I mean, it's nothing that's going to blow you away. It's a popcorn flick. You can throw it on, not pay attention to half of it, see the monster fights at the end, and you're good to go. It's nothing I would tell anybody to go watch. Me personally, I enjoy those movies. A lot of people don't. That's fine. I do. I love Godzilla. I want Godzilla to be big, bad, and like beat everyone. I don't want a surprise. I just want to see
But he's a good guy.
Godzilla beat everybody. I know. He's awesome. Like big and bad, like a
Oh, yeah.
badass, not
Like-
necessarily like a bad monster.
right.
Anyway, so I love Godzilla so much, but I picked the Flash
I figured.
because the Flash is just one of my favorite characters in the DC universe. I freaking love the Flash,
Yeah.
and the Scarlet Speedster wins the day.
Wins the day. What's your favorite Flash?
My favorite Flash. I'm gonna say the early '90s run with. No, I'm just kidding. That's a terrible show. Have you ever seen that show?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not good.
He reprised his role in the new show as Barry Allen's dad.
I know.
I
And
thought
he's
that was
great.
cool.
I think it's great too. Honestly, yeah, I might have to go with the show.
Grant Gustin's a great Flash.
He's an incredible Flash. I loved the heart in the show. I know a lot of you people don't like the Flash all that much, and you like Green Arrow better, but
Definitely.
and you throw stones at me about it. But I like that iteration.
That's hard to say though, because those shows are two completely different.
Exactly.
They are. They're very
In
good.
my opinion, like Green Arrow was dark. It was meant to be that dark show, and the Flash
Yes.
to me is more
Cartoon.
comic book come to life. It's,
like-
it's
it's funny, like,
designed to be that.
correct.
way.
My mom likes Arrow, but she doesn't like Flash because she just thinks it's too lighthearted, like too cartoony, comic booky.
Love it.
But I like both. I like both for different reasons. But
I'm interested to see who you're going to pick.
this is a tough one because I'm not a super huge fan of either, to be honest. I like Godzilla movies. I've liked pretty much every Godzilla movie that's come out like in the recent years.
Sure.
Some of the old ones I watched when I was a kid. I liked them when I was a kid. I don't think I'd care to watch them back now.
No, and I don't watch the old ones now. I just wait for the new ones to come out. And they're really honestly nothing that I go back to.
No.
I just enjoy them when I do watch them.
I went with the Flash because
It's a better character.
it's a better character, and you're talking about a long history vital part of the DC universe. It's not that I don't like the Flash. It's just that I don't have a ton of history of reading Flash. I watched the show. I love the show. If I had to go back to anything, I'd probably say the DC animated movies with the Flash in them, like Flashpoint.
Oh, really?
Would probably be my favorite.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Or the comic book run of Flashpoint.
Flashpoint is so big in the DC universe that I don't think a lot of people understand. Like, it's changed a ton within every single character's life. And, like, their storylines and stuff, it has affected so many people. And what I think is a cool part about it is that, so Flashpoint happened, and obviously it's just writers thinking of these things later in time. It's not like they planned any of this out. But, I mean, we're talking how many years later after Flashpoint, and they're coming out that it's affected this, and this, and like Doomsday Clock came out. That's been spawned because of Flashpoint. Spoilers. It's such a big deal.
Yeah.
And it was from one guy making a decision.
Yeah.
And for better or worse, it happened, and I think it's amazing.
And that animated movie, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's really or rent it or whatever.
Yeah.
Flashpoint is a DC animated movie, but I also like the Flash and all the Justice League shows and all the shows from the 90s. So what'd you go with?
I figured you guys would go with Flash.
Yeah, I saw some other people pick Godzilla on brackets.
So really?
That's
I haven't really
interesting.
paid attention.
The whole Flashpoint thing in the CW is actually what made me start watching the Flash.
Yeah.
Because I was only watching Arrow at the time, and then all of a sudden Diggle didn't have a daughter anymore. He had a son, and I was like, "What the is going on?
What is going on?"
Yeah,
I gotta go back and I gotta watch.
I
this
thought it
whole
was. I think
season.
they did it really good.
They did it.
I mean, they
did a
burnt-
great job.
They burnt through
all
the
that.
story
They
real
did.
fast.
They did.
Yeah,
on the
but they
show.
dealt with the consequences for a long time.
Yes.
Like for a whole season.
Yep.
Yes, they burned through the story really fast in the show, but the ramifications of that one little story that they did of Flashpoint.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, they never reversed it back.
No, I don't think so. Well, I haven't watched the
Reverse
show.
what
so.
back?
Like they never took it back to the
All of it.
initial.
Before he goes?
Yeah, did they?
Can't.
Yeah, that's right.
Ramifications of time travel are too much.
I just think it's cool that they committed like that.
For
They
the
changed
Speed Force.
characters around and their motivations and who they, and obviously they kind of convened back to an area that you're more comfortable with.
Right.
But the story wasn't exactly the same.
Not as the first two seasons. Yeah.
I still can't believe you guys have not seen the whole Crisis thing.
Not yet.
I know. I gotta
How
watch
do you
it.
do that? If
You
you
know
don't
what?
have it on your DVR or anything, how do you?
I'm telling you
I
right
don't
now.
have it on my DVR. That's the problem.
What are you going to do?
I'm gonna have to wait for it to come out on Netflix.
Oh God.
Well, no, they do it as soon as
As soon as the season's
season
over, it drops on Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah. all
So
right.
they should have all of them now.
I don't know. They don't.
No, because this season of the Flash is still.
Well, that's
It's-
fine. By the time I burn through the seasons that I'm behind, that
got
will
like
probably
4 other crossovers
yeah, that
to
will
deal
probably be.
I wonder if it's
there,
on
so.
DC app because I got that.
Oh, it might. I still have that too. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
It still might be early enough that you could.
Either way,
with your DirecTV,
I'm telling you right now, I'm
going
gonna go back and watch all of that, all of the Flash. I don't know if I'm gonna watch any of Green Arrow and all the crossover stuff. Should I?
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna
Definitely.
if you're gonna watch, you need to watch all the Crisis events.
So just those individual shows on Arrow. I don't have to watch like 6 episodes of Arrow in order to gain knowledge of what's going on. No. Okay.
I mean, a lot of it's just like they all know Crisis is coming.
Yeah. Well, they're all in the same
What
world.
you should do is watch the
Obviously.
years prior crossover event.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna start from where I left off on Flash and go forward, but I'll have to figure out. How do I know when there's a crossover coming in Flash? Does one come before the other?
There's probably a guide online.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. But how did you know? How did you know which one to watch first?
Because I've been watching all the seasons since.
Well, I know,
when
but
they
what
came
if you
out.
turned on Flash first and you should have watched the Arrow one first?
Well, it says in the description, Crisis Part 1, Crisis Part 2.
Oh, okay. That's what I was looking for.
And then, like, because I don't watch Supergirl, I don't watch Batwoman. But I had to record Batwoman for one episode just so I could get that one
Oh my
part
gosh.
That's terrible.
Was
I'm
that,
sorry.
Is that all right?
of. Kevin Conroy's in it.
We met him.
Yes, we did.
Okay, that was The Flash. Now we are on. Let's see. New challenge here. Oh, should we say who is? We'll do that at the end. Never mind.
I don't know what you're
Who's
talking about.
competing against each other for the second round. At the end, we'll go over that.
Yes.
Okay. Next one is Black Panther and Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yes,
That's who you picked?
that's who we picked.
Yes,
You're
that is
right.
who I
Yeah.
picked as well.
Spider-Man
As
is
did
the
I.
winner.
This is hands down easy. We're gonna shake it up for a really difficult pick later down the road, I think. But Spider-Man for me is earlier I said Daredevil was probably my favorite. Spider-Man's probably my favorite.
It's such a close tie right there.
It's close. We'll see. But I also really like Black Panther and always have.
Yes.
But not like deep dive into the character. But I always liked him as a kind of showing up in other people's books character. Like I never read the book Black Panther, but he would frequently show up in other books or on cartoons or things like that. But when it comes down to, I mean, Spider-Man is, I mean, he's probably the biggest comic book character, arguably out of 2 or 3
Right.
of all time. So
He's probably the third.
maybe.
He's probably the third. I mean, Superman and Batman are bigger than Spider-Man.
I don't know, man. Spider-Man's pretty big.
I think it
Like
is.
if you go by comic book sales, I mean, it's hands down.
I'm just
Spider-Man
saying-
blows them both out of the water.
Of comic book
You go
characters.
You go Marvel side. He's the biggest.
Well,
Hands down.
absolutely Marvel side. I'm saying it overall. Overall, the best comic, or not necessarily the best, but the most well-known. I guess if somebody thought comic book character, don't you think they'd think probably Superman?
It's I don't know. All those 3. I mean, I don't know how you can rank, but
Well, DC's better.
anyway, Spider-Man for me, I can't even. I don't even know how I'd begin to talk about my favorite iterations. I love the 1990s animated show Spider-Man.
Yes.
I love all of the movies, even the Andrew Garfield years,
I do too. I love those movies.
but especially Far From Home and Homecoming. But I love all the comics. Going back, I've been reading it since I was a kid. Spider Island, Grim Hunt. I mean, there's just too many good ones. Spectacular Spider-Man, Superior Spider-Man. There's too many good ones to talk about.
Ultimate.
But Ultimate Spider-Man, yeah. So, I mean, I'd have to probably give it up to, just in general, say like Dan Slott, who wrote Spider-Man Forever.
Oh, he also did Superior Spider-Man.
But
didn't
he wrote Spider-Man like forever.
Oh, really?
Like, for
Oh,
10 years.
I didn't know that.
And so he's probably been one of my favorite. But anyway, yeah, this was an easy one for me.
Yeah, me too. I honestly don't think I've ever read anything about Black Panther. I knew he was a character. I knew he showed up in other stuff. I just don't know anything about him. Spider-Man is an easy win there. I think for the majority of people, they would pick Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because he is such a big name.
All right, moving on.
Well, what did you pick?
He said Spider-Man.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Next one we're going to do is Nick Fury versus Xena Warrior Princess.
Man, Lucy Lawless.
I will say right now, this was one of my hardest picks
Honestly,
of the entire round.
I agree.
And I still am not satisfied with what I picked.
I don't really think I am either. I crossed out my first pick and wrote another one, and I want to cross that out and write another one, but I can't. We're here.
I will say there was like 4 matchups in this whole side that I was really iffy on. This may be the most. I picked Nick Fury.
I did as well. I picked Nick Fury as well.
And what'd you pick, Alex?
Nick Fury.
The
I feel
interesting
like
thing about this is people are probably like, "What? Why would this be a difficult pick?" I love the Nick Fury character from all the movies.
Yes.
Wasn't a huge fan of that character in general in any comics, although I've read many comics with him in them. I've seen many cartoons and many cartoon animated movies with him in it. But I just love that show, Xena Warrior Princess from the 90s. I
do
love
too.
that show. But that's my only really exposure. I haven't read any of her comics. There's
Nope.
like huge long run of Xena comics. I'm sure they're great. But I love Greek mythology, and I love that swords and sandals type thing, and I liked Xena. But ultimately, you have to give credit to Sam Jackson, and probably his best iteration for me was in Captain Marvel.
100%. I agree with all of that. Xena was a show that I watched as a kid, growing up, that I loved. It was on like right after Hercules with Kevin Sorbo.
Hercules.
I would watch both of those shows back to back, and I thought they were amazing and awesome. And I think they had a crossover between Hercules and Xena.
They had them all the
few
time.
times.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it was a few times, but I thought I remembered them being together in the same show. I loved those shows. I thought they were awesome. I was going with the nostalgia pick, which is what I normally do. But again, I had to give it to Sam Jackson as Nick Fury. I don't know him in the comic book runs very much. I'm basing it off of the movies. But yeah, him in Captain Marvel is amazing when they de-aged him. And I just think he has the best... his best acting and his best story is in Captain Marvel compared to the rest of the movies. Because the rest of the Marvel movies, he's really, just kind of a side character that pops up every once in a while. But in Captain Marvel, he's a main guy, and I like it a lot.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
Did you watch Xena, Alex?
Not really.
No.
That was probably like a year before I started getting into shows like that.
Yeah.
Like after I got out of cartoons and so.
Oh, I
But
was still into cartoons.
I mean, that was kind of like a live action cartoon, really.
yes.
But
Didn't she do this all the time?
Oh, yeah.
to go off of
And
what
she
you
had to
said,
like loop blade thing.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
loop thing. Yeah.
Xena didn't happen without Hercules, right? Didn't Xena start from Hercules?
Oh, I guess I don't know. I was not aware
I'm pretty
of that.
sure she was like a spin-off character of Hercules.
Probably forgot that. You're right.
Yeah, I
guess
think she
you're right.
was definitely a spin-off character. Also, that other dude that was on Hercules. Remember the guy, the blonde guy? That was his sidekick.
I don't remember.
What was that dude?
Gosh, I'd have to go back and see it.
The biggest thing that I remember from the Kevin Sorbo Hercules is from the Hollywood Babylon disappointed thing that they talk about, where it's an extreme overact on Sorbo's part, and he just screams disappointed.
We saw Kevin Sorbo.
We did see him. He is a big. He's came out on record talking about the horrendous treatment of himself by Hollywood because he's a conservative.
Really?
Yeah, he
He's
can't
one
get
of them.
any work.
Who gives a shit?
No
I'm
kidding.
just saying that's what he says. He's a big
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't think that
Wow.
should play a part into your job.
No, it
Oh
shouldn't.
no, it absolutely should
That's
not.
what he doesn't think so either, but he's saying he's being discriminated against.
Wow,
But he could just be a shitty actor too.
could be. All right, next one. Let's keep moving here. We got a lot to cover. So
Don't rush me.
I'm going to.
Let's go. We got
Who do we got next? We got Iron Man and Blade.
Okay, this one was another very difficult one for me.
It was?
Out of there was several that were difficult, and this was one for me. Ultimately, it's got to come down to, because I love Blade. I've loved that character for a long time. In the comics, in the early movies, I think it's a good character. But
Yeah.
I mean, it comes down to Robert Downey Jr. and it comes down to Iron Man.
It's
Iron Man.
It's absolutely Iron Man.
But if it wasn't for the Marvel movies, I think I would have picked Blade.
I agree with you. I would too, because I had seen the Blade movies, but I never read any Blade comic books.
Yeah, but I never read any Iron Man comic books either.
Well, I have read some, but only because of the movies.
Right.
So
Well, I shouldn't say that, actually. I read a lot of Iron Man back during the Civil War run in the mid-2000s.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I picked Iron Man. What'd you pick, Alex?
I figured you guys would pick that Iron Man.
Yeah.
Well, we did.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Yes. Next one is Hercules and Cyclops.
Hercules versus Cyclops. And I'll just say right now, it's my opinion
Okay.
that you can pick any iteration of Hercules you want. Because there's a comic book character, Hercules,
Yes.
a Marvel comic book character, or there's Kevin Sorbo Hercules, or
The
Greek
Dis-
mythology Hercules, or
Disney
Disney
animation.
Hercules. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, across the board, that character is free game, whatever iteration you want to take.
Okay. So can you pick any iteration of Cyclops?
Sure. Well, yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. All right, good. I just wanted to clear it up.
So
See
Greek
if it's
mythology
level-
Cyclops?
No.
I just wanted to make sure it's a level playing field here.
Nor John Goodman from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
No?
Nope.
Oh, well, that's what I thought it was based off of. Okay, my pick here was Hercules.
Ooh.
I picked Hercules over Cyclops because I don't honestly care for the Cyclops character.
I see. I love that character of Cyclops. I've always liked him.
He's fine. I guess I shouldn't say I don't care for him. He's fine. He is a Marvel X-Men character.
He's the white bread to Wolverine's, he's a bad boy.
Yeah.
He's like the popular kid in school.
That's exactly what he is.
That's 100% what he is. And I was
Teacher's pet.
He's annoying.
I wasn't that guy. I wasn't popular. All right. I was,
on the fringes.
School of Hard Knocks. I lived on the streets.
Says the Prince of Verona.
Oh, I forgot about that. So I lived on the streets of Verona.
Yeah.
Getting carried around on my thrones.
Yeah.
And that's why I picked Hercules, because I did go for the nostalgia pick. I loved the show. It's all I'm basing it off of, to be honest with you. I like that character better.
Well, this one was easy for me. I love the X-Men.
Yes, you do.
Love the X-Men. I've always loved the character of Cyclops. I've read the X-Men my own life. I watched the cartoons. I watched the movies, like all of it. But I went with Hercules.
Ooh.
Easy pick for me.
Oh, wait a minute. I was blacked out there for a minute. You went with Hercules?
Hercules all the way. For me, that's an easy pick. You're talking about probably throughout time, history, one of the first superhero, probably.
Yes.
And one that there's been more stories of combined
Oh, for sure.
than probably anybody on this list.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Jesus
I didn't
is
even,
not here, is there?
I didn't even think. No, he's not.
Okay.
He's not on
Hercules is around before Jesus.
Technically.
Yeah. But I'm a huge, huge fan of Greek mythology. Huge fan. So
Yeah.
I love all the old works of Hercules. I love all the movie iterations of Hercules. I loved the show. I love the Disney animated show movie. I like the comic book versions. All of it. I'm in the bag for Hercules. So that's where I'm at.
There you go.
All
Man,
day.
we got a very similar bracket so far, Chris.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're exactly the same.
No, we've got
Fair
one
enough.
different.
What?
Don't we have one different?
Yeah.
Green Lantern. That's
Yeah,
the
and
only
I
difference.
got Dr. Manhattan. Next one, we have Doctor Strange versus Wonder Woman.
All right.
I am a DC person through and through.
Yes.
You know that, right? Did you know that?
I kind of figured.
Huh. And I picked Doctor Strange.
See, you're trying to fake people out because I did it last time.
I know.
Everybody knew it was coming.
No, they didn't, because you would think I'd pick Wonder Woman. I do love Wonder Woman. I think it's a great character, and I absolutely love the movie except for the third act.
Yeah. But the new one coming out looks great.
The new one looks so
Until
good.
you get to the volcanoes and
Yeah, I'm sure something will start
Oh,
on
yeah.
fire and
Magma.
be melted. There'll be melting steel all around. I'm sure it'll turn into a red inferno.
There'll be a lot of slow motion action.
Gosh, I hope not.
I think the only one they did that right one with was Aquaman. And I know you guys have said that you're not.
He loved
I
it.
like it. I like it a lot.
I didn't care for it.
I've watched that movie probably half a dozen times.
Really? I need to go
I've
back.
had a lot of free time.
yeah, you do. No, I like the movie a lot. I enjoyed Aquaman.
They made Aquaman an actual character to like.
Yeah.
Because who likes Aquaman?
I get it, man. I completely get it. It's,
he can
Should read the comics.
He can talk to fish.
I've heard that the comics are amazing. I've never read an Aquaman comic.
no, neither have I.
But for the last 10 years, they've been saying how good the comics have been.
So I picked Doctor Strange, and it's because I think he's a badass.
Yeah.
I love all of that. Like the sorcery, everything he can do, him seeing the future, him calculating like what's going to happen in the movies. He also does that in the comic books. The whole like Dormammu fight sequence that they did in the movie was straight from the comic books, but they did it a lot longer. It was like a longer time frame in the comic books. They had to shorten it up because it's a movie.
The Sanctum Sanctorum.
Sanctum Sanctorum, and everything about Doctor Strange. If you guys listening have never delved into the world of Doctor Strange, you need to, because it's ripe with story,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Well-
and I think Benedict Cumberbatch
Yeah.
is a phenomenal Doctor Strange. I
Yes.
really do.
He's the perfect iteration.
Penguins.
Who?
Penguins? Have you not heard his whole
Pen-
pronunciation of penguin?
No.
Oh my God! You need to look up that YouTube video because it is he can't say penguin.
I mean, it is kind of hard to say.
Penguin.
No, he keeps saying
Penguin.
penguins.
Penguins.
Penguins. What?
I mean, he's a British old chap. Oh, I also love him as Sherlock, too. Is that a character on here?
No, should be though.
Oh, man, it should be.
In any case, my choice was easy because Doctor Strange is one of the greatest comic book characters of all time.
Of all time.
That was an easy one for me. What'd you have, Alex?
I figured you guys would go with Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, I know that the general public isn't super familiar with him because he's only been in a couple movies, although the movies' iterations are brilliant.
Yes.
I love magic, first off.
Yeah.
So I'm a big
too.
fan of that. But Doctor Strange comics are like a whole different world, man.
They're very
They're
different.
out there, and they're amazing, and they're great. There's a great Marvel animated movie, Doctor Strange, that I suggest. It's like an origin story. It's great. But in general, that character has also been a big part of the entire Marvel universe.
Yes.
For a very long time. He's actually ran the Avengers. He's a great character and one of my favorites, and definitely wins that one.
Absolutely.
And it's not like I don't have a lot of. I'm not going to say that I'm a huge Wonder Woman fan because I don't really have a lot of exposure to Wonder Woman. I mean, outside of the Justice League animated show,
Yes.
which was fine, and
Right. I mean, I haven't read anything.
I haven't read a lot of Wonder Woman. I
Of
collected
Wonder
it for a while because there was some artist or a writer on it, and they said it was really good. And it was a good run. I didn't really read a lot of it, but
That's a whole nother reason why I picked Doctor Strange. I don't have the base knowledge of Wonder Woman besides I loved the movie and
the show when I was a kid, that show
yeah,
was on.
That's okay.
It wasn't great.
No.
I'm gonna go for the next one. This was another difficult one for me. The Punisher and Jean Grey.
Yes, this is a very difficult one. And
Go ahead. What'd you get?
Okay, so the Punisher and Jean Grey. I ended up picking Jean Grey.
It's amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it?
That's what I picked too.
I assumed it would be. Actually, now that as I just said it and looked at you, I figured that's who you picked. But normally I should go with the gritty, like horrific, gory type character, which is the Punisher. But I really like Jean Grey. I
Yeah.
like everything about her except for how kind of whiny she is. She's a pretty whiny character. But overall, as an X-Men, she's incredible. I love the story between her and good old Wolverine. And I just think she's amazing. Everything about her is amazing. She's super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I like her turning into Phoenix. I think that's amazing too. Like Dark Phoenix and whatnot. I've never seen the movie yet. I think I still should see the movie since you did.
Yeah.
And talked about it. It made me want to see it. But yeah, I like Jean Grey. I like her in the movies. I love her in the comic books. I loved her in the X-Men cartoon in the 90s. It's great. All around great.
Yeah, I went with Jean Grey too here. Not a huge probably surprise. I'm not a huge Punisher fan. I like the Punisher movies that have been out. I like the show a lot. I've liked comics over the years. I've read a lot of the Punisher.
Yeah.
It's been one that I've read a lot, especially back in the Marvel Knights run in the late 90s and early 2000s.
But don't you think there's just like...
It's just kind of a shallow character.
Yeah, there's not enough there.
Not enough
with
meat on the
Punisher.
bone.
Yeah. That's...
Jean Grey it's a very high drama, high concept character.
Mm-hmm.
I always loved her powers and how powerful she was. But frankly, I always found her to be a pretty annoying character.
She is.
For me, this is all based on one thing, and that's the Phoenix.
Yeah.
The Phoenix Force, that character, which we're talking about a handful of comics. It was a really short run. The movie's dog shit. The comics run though is great, and I've been fascinated with Phoenixes ever since I was a little kid because of the comics, which I didn't even read till after the animated show. So,
Oh, really?
Probably saw the X-Men animated iteration of that first. before.
I absolutely did.
But I did
because
like
you're like
Femke
15 years older than me.
Jenkin or whatever her name is from the original X-Men movies.
Mm-hmm.
I liked her iteration of that character, and yeah, it's just there's more. I just feel like there's more depth there than there is with the Punisher.
There's a ton more depth, and I wish
They've made good strides with the show though, the Netflix show. That I think gave a lot to that character, but it's over now. So
you're talking Punisher.
yeah,
Oh, okay. That was like Jean Grey did not have a Netflix show.
But
I wish she did.
Even still, it's almost still one dimension.
yeah,
It is very.
It's a
one-dimensional.
revenge story.
Yeah.
I mean, I always did like when he popped up in Spider-Man or he fought Spider-Man or Daredevil.
Oh, and he pops into the new Daredevil run, and I think it's great. I
Yeah.
loved him being in the new Daredevil run. I think it's a really good story, but it just doesn't.
He's a
there's no weight
great
to the
side character in Marvel Comics history. One of the best because he pops in and out of books, and it's always for very good
Yeah.
purposes. Like he always serves the B plot well,
Yes, absolutely.
but that's the extent of it.
It's kind of like what we were talking about with Black Panther. It's
Yeah.
the same thing with Black Panther popping
better,
in there.
I think.
But better, yes. Okay, next one. So we picked Jean Grey, you and I both. Next one is, who is it? Cable and RoboCop.
Yeah, Cable and Robo.
Cable? I want to hear yours first. I've been going first. I want to hear yours.
This one was easy for me. It's definitely Cable. I'm a big fan of Cable. Always have been. I have the first appearance of Cable.
Do you?
New Mutants 83. I actually have 2 copies of it. Always loved that character since it first came out in the comics in the mid 90s or early 90s, whenever that was. And Cable and Deadpool, which is probably the longest running iteration of that character, they were a team up.
Oh, yeah.
And they had their own comic book series for a decade or more. And I've always collected it, and I loved it. And the interplay between those two characters is just, it's perfect. You got the straight man and the comedy, and phenomenal character.
Yeah. I honestly don't know much about Cable at all. I've never really followed it.
It's mainly a comic book character. I mean, there's been a little
It
bit
is.
in the X-Men animated series.
Yeah.
And then a little bit in the newest Deadpool. And that's really all you... If you haven't read comics, those are your only 2 familiarities with that character.
Right. I mean, I know of him. I never really followed anything about Cable. So I went with RoboCop on this one. This is where we diverge, Christopher. And I went with RoboCop just for, again, like I'm the nostalgia guy. And all I have ever done is watch the movies of RoboCop. And I've watched all the movies of RoboCop because I loved them.
The new one, too?
I did see the new one.
It's good.
When did that come out? 2 years ago?
5 years ago, maybe.
5 years ago, it was long.
Oh, was
long.
it?
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I just saw it.
I mean,
Anyway,
it was
but
before Altered Carbon, and that was 2 or 3 years ago when that first came
Okay.
out. So
I like the older ones better, and I've always liked the older ones better. I used to watch them constantly. That was like a reoccurring thing that I would just pop in a RoboCop movie and watch it. And every time I'd see it on USA early in the day, I'd watch it. Yeah, big fan. Love RoboCop.
Where'd you go on this one?
I thought you guys would both say Cable.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't.
All right.
Yeah.
I got
all right.
2 chances. 50-50 shot. I'm matching brackets. So.
Next one, Iron Fist and Captain America.
Yeah.
Wow.
This one, I'm actually a huge fan of both characters. I love Iron Fist.
I love Iron Fist too.
But
It's
I
really
went with
good.
Captain America. I mean, I've read Captain America since I was a little kid. I've loved that character. And we're coming off a decade of the best iteration of that character that's ever existed
And listen,
in the
we're
Marvel
coming-
Cinematic Universe.
And we're coming off of like 2 years of just terrible Iron Fist shows
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Which I didn't mind, actually. But this one isn't even a close contest. I do like Luke Cage and Iron Fist when they do Heroes for Hire, but it's basically in cartoons and in the comics.
Yeah.
Captain America for the win.
As well for me, I also picked Captain America. I think that's pretty
Pretty standard.
standard. I think they could do really good things with Iron Fist in a movie. But I mean, Captain America obviously blows them out of the water.
Yeah.
If anybody picked Iron Fist, shame on you.
Yeah. They need to make it a kung fu movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not what they really tried to do. I mean, I guess they did that on the Netflix show. I like the Netflix show.
I honestly didn't mind it at all either. I liked it. I
It's
just
just
wish
that actor was so bad.
he was not good, and I wish they would have used his power more.
Yeah.
Like there was times where it's like, come on, dude, center your chi, bro.
And cultural appropriation. Come on.
I know.
Make him an Asian, dude.
Exactly. Make him an Asian.
Although he's white in the comics, but whatever.
Yeah.
Who'd you go with, Alex?
I figured you guys would both say Cap.
Yeah.
Right.
maybe.
And if you didn't put that, again, shame on you. Get out. GTFO.
Here's where we separate the meat from the bones, as you say. The listener from the casual fan.
This hurt. This is the one that hurt my insides, Chris.
We got Hulk and Swamp Thing.
Hulk and Swamp Thing. Are you shitting me right now? I couldn't believe that these guys were matched up together. And gosh, I wanted one of these guys to go on so far. But again, if you listen to Snarf Talk, if you've ever heard me talk about characters on Snarf Talk, you know who I picked. Who's that, Chris?
Hulk.
Swamp Thing. Absolutely Swamp Thing. I do love Hulk. I love Hulk so much.
I'm also a huge fan of Hulk. I also picked Swamp Thing. By the
Oh,
way.
you did?
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know if you would or not.
Oh, no. Yeah, definitely. I picked Swamp Thing. I'm a huge fan of the Hulk as well, especially in the comics.
Yes.
Not really had a good iteration anywhere else.
I loved the old school TV show. I watched it all the time.
Oh, yeah, the TV show. But then
Like the live action TV show.
Yeah.
I watched all the time.
there were some good animated movies. Hulk versus Wolverine.
Yes.
Planet Hulk was good. And obviously his best iteration in Thor Ragnarok, I think.
Are you sure?
Yes.
At least
agree.
in
No,
movies.
I completely agree.
And
Yeah.
now that I'm thinking about it, I'm second guessing myself because is this like all Hulk iterations?
Of course, it's the Hulk
Yes,
as a
it's Hulk.
character.
Or what about Red Hulk?
What? It's
It's
the
not Hulk. It's a different person.
Then no.
Then no, that's Red Hulk.
Yeah, I guess no. You'd have
Because I mean,
to
you
put
look
Red
at the
Hulk.
next spot. She-Hulk's in there.
Oh
so-
yeah, okay. Yeah, I picked Swamp Thing, and you know,
Yes, Swamp Thing for me is ultimate.
I love the Saga run, obviously, and me and Jerry both collect Swamp Thing. But honestly, I love the new Scott Snyder stuff in the New 52.
Oh my gosh, Scott Snyder stuff. I just finished that recently. It's so good. Brian K. Vaughan had a run about his daughter, like Swamp Thing's daughter, and them getting together and doing their thing. Like she gets in trouble and she's I'm not going to spoil it, and it'll take me forever to talk about it because I want to talk about it for like an hour. But it's so good. I love everything Brian K. Vaughan does. And then the one issue that I've talked about a bajillion times about the winter issue. It's like the winter special is what it's called. That's all it's called. And it's just a one story of Swamp Thing walking through the snow and being chased by what you think are monsters, and he's holding a child. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I talk about it all the time. It's just so good. And I love the character of Swamp Thing. I liked the show. I liked the TV show of Swamp Thing. I think they did it a disservice. They didn't do well with it, but I did like the beginning of it. I think the suit and the character was really good.
It's unbelievable to me that they have not made a series of animated movies about Swamp Thing. It's
So
the perfect medium
dumb.
to do it.
They don't use that property.
I honestly think it goes further than just what's out there now. I think if you just break it down by character, Swamp Thing is just an infinitely more interesting character than the Hulk. The Hulk is a bit one note.
Smash.
Yeah, basically. And the dichotomy between him and Bruce Banner. But the Swamp Thing is like...
That's what I was saying.
It's
like,
a very epic in scope. It's
the stories that you have with Swamp Thing.
I mean, he's essentially a god. I mean, he's essentially the personification of nature.
He is, yeah.
So you can just do a lot with that character throughout time and history and space and anything.
Yes.
So what did you think we were going to go with?
Swamp Thing.
You know.
He's a good guy, good listener.
Gosh, just talking about Swamp Thing gets me all riled up. I
Yeah.
don't know if you noticed this, but gosh,
You're
it
about
does.
ready to just rip your suit.
I
and your
can't.
shirt.
I love that character so much, and I'm going to have so many problems later on in these brackets because
Yeah.
I haven't done this until right now, and it's going to cause some issues in my own head.
All right, now we got probably the hardest matchup I had for this whole bracket.
For real?
Yeah, it's She-Hulk versus Superman.
She-Hulk versus Superman.
Yeah.
I'll throw mine out real quick. I picked Superman. And I've talked about how I'm not a huge Superman character, but I honestly don't know anything about She-Hulk besides that she exists and she's a Hulk and she's a lawyer.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love the She-Hulk character. I read that comic a lot starting when I was in college, and it's just a great character. It's going to be an amazing Disney Plus show. I can already tell you.
I'm very excited about that.
But
I think it's a phenomenal
At the end of the
choice.
day, I had to pick Superman too, and it's not that I'm.
Oh, you did?
I have to.
Oh my gosh.
I have to because of the history. I mean, it's what?
Yeah.
Like we said, top 3 comic book characters of all time.
But
gotta
do you
give
like Superman better?
That's not what the bracket is.
Yes, it is. It's who you like. It's who we like better.
But we've already talked about this many times, Jerry. It's who you like. It's who
I
you
know.
have the most cultural impact. Who has
Yeah.
the better depth and breadth of story. It's a more interesting character. Sure, Superman's a more interesting character.
It is.
It's an alien from another planet that is
Raised
the last son
by-
of Krypton.
And it's raised by a small farm family.
I mean, that's a more interesting character than a spin-off character from another universe that's a lawyer for superheroes.
I agree. That's and I know nothing about She-Hulk, so I had to give it to
So
Superman.
I like, and there's a lot of Superman comics I do like All-Star Superman, Grant Morrison run. Red Sun was a good one.
Red Sun is very good.
There's a bunch of good ones. I just have never been a huge fan. And the old Christopher Reeve movies, loved them.
I do too.
All of them. Even the
I do
crappy
too.
ones. And Lois and Clark, big fan of that show.
Oh, I loved Lois and Clark. I used to watch that all the time.
So, yeah, I'm a fan.
So 2 Supermans, and you went with?
I thought you guys would go with She-Hulk.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Oh, really?
Because, when this comes out, I don't know. It was a handful of episodes ago. You guys said something about She-Hulk, and you guys both said how awesome of a character she was.
And she is a great character.
And you guys,
There's,
you said that, and I knew that was on the bracket. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna throw that in there.
I think that's
'Cause-
basing it off of like the newest run of She-Hulk because they are making her into a really incredible character, and she has a huge role right now in the comic books with Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel's kind of running amok at the moment in like the Avengers world and in Marvel as a whole, and She-Hulk's kind of stepping in and trying to be the savior there. I don't know the end game, but I know that there's a huge battle going on between the two of them, which is really interesting to me, and I think the Disney show will be amazing. Next one, we have Harley Quinn and He-Man.
Yeah. I mean, where'd you go with? I'm interested to see.
I went with my girl Harley Quinn,
There you go.
and I know you're talking about side characters and coming off of different things. I'm obsessed with Paul Dini. I love everything Paul Dini does. He created Harley Quinn. He wrote really good stories for her. He wrote some of the comic book for her, didn't he? I thought he
Yeah.
wrote some
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
he wrote
original
Mad
comic
Love.
book, right? Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I like her character. I like what they've done with
And
her.
he's
honestly.
writing the new book now.
He started a new book.
Well, no,
I
but
didn't
he's
know
writing that Batman Adventures. It's the follow-up to Batman the Animated Series. We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Gosh, I forgot.
He's writing a comic book that's a direct follow-up to the Batman the Animated Series, written by Paul Dini.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah.
That guy's a storyteller, man. He's a really good storyteller. Yeah, I went with Harley Quinn. I like her character a lot. I know He-Man. I've watched the cartoon. I've never really read any books of him. He's fine, but I like Harley Quinn.
I also went with Harley Quinn. I like the character of Harley Quinn a lot. I've always liked that character. I named my daughter the middle name Quinn because of Harley Quinn.
Because of Kevin Smith.
Because of Harley Quinn, but not because I'm like a massive fan of the character. I just like the name.
Yeah.
But that's where I got it from.
Sure.
And it's just, I'm not crazy about either one of them to any extent other than He-Man's essentially. I mean, I had all the He-Man toys when I was a kid, and I loved playing with them.
I think that was like everyone. I think
Yeah.
you were supposed to have those as a kid, right?
And we'll see what Kevin Smith does with the new animated series that's coming out. Maybe that'll change my mind. But up until this point, it's not like the cartoon was not great.
No, and we haven't been flooded with content of
No.
his. Like, you don't get to see him that often unless you've watched.
Essentially, it's a cartoon based off of a toy line.
Yes, that's absolutely what it is.
Mm-hmm.
What'd
But
you go with?
there's people that love He-Man, so
I figured you guys would say Harley.
Yeah, we did.
We got our last one here is Deadpool versus Black Widow. And we'll see how this goes when the new Black Widow movie comes out, which looks amazing.
Gosh, does it look good?
However, if you know anything about me, you know Deadpool is one of my favorite comic book characters of all time.
I did know that about you.
There is Daredevil, Spider-Man, Deadpool. They're all in this bracket.
They are. Holy cow.
There's going to be some real issues down, and Swamp Thing.
Yes, and
There's gonna be
Swamp
some
Thing.
real issues down the road. But I went with Deadpool. I've been reading Deadpool forever. I've been collecting the Deadpool comic. I'm not shitting you now, for over 15 years straight without missing an issue.
Holy cow.
I have 2 copies of the first appearance of Deadpool, which I believe are worth in the range of $1,000 right now.
Oh, and they're going to keep going up.
As long as they keep making movies.
They will, yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of the character. It's probably my first exposure to in the world of comics as a younger person, not necessarily a child, but a teenager, a teenager, to like adult humor mixed with comics. And I just love it. I love the character. And Brian Posehn's run is probably one of my favorite runs of that character. And the movies are incredible. And yeah, Deadpool all the way.
Let's see, Deadpool and Black Widow. Yeah, I definitely went with Deadpool. Black Widow's a great character. She just doesn't have much there.
Yeah, I mean,
again,
Deadpool, a
Deadpool,
side character in the movies, and I don't have any other really knowledge of her outside of that.
Me either. But Deadpool, gosh, there's a lot to work with Deadpool. I've never been a huge Deadpool fan like you. I certainly haven't collected all of the comic books. I've read comic books of his. I enjoy him. I enjoy the movies. He's a better character. I like him a lot. So Deadpool it is. So that finishes up the first round of the East and West brackets.
Yeah, next week we're going to do the first round of South and Midwest brackets. I couldn't think of another thing to name these other than East, West, South, and Midwest. So
you never went North.
I didn't change them from how it came. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, why is there no North?
Yeah, you didn't put North. You put Midwest.
Because that's how they do it.
I didn't put it.
That's how they do it for...
Yeah, there is no North. What would
actual
North
March
be?
Madness.
Because you'd have to do
March
from
Madness.
Washington all the way over to Maine.
We don't have to do any states. I just thought you were going with directions here.
No, that's okay, never mind.
I get it. I understand where it comes
for
from.
the East bracket, round 2, it's going to be Daredevil versus Green Lantern. It's going to be Winter Soldier versus, or for mine, I guess.
Yeah, this is for you.
For me, Daredevil versus Green Lantern, Winter Soldier versus, and you're going to have Daredevil versus Dr. Manhattan.
Yes.
We're both going to have Winter Soldier versus The Flash.
Yes.
We both have Spider-Man versus Nick Fury. We both have Iron Man versus Hercules. We both have Doctor Strange versus Jean Grey. I can't believe these are so close together. I'm really surprised. We both had...
No.
You had RoboCop and I had Cable, and we both had Captain America. We both had Swamp Thing and Superman. We both had Harley Quinn and Deadpool.
Yes. It's going to be close for this first round.
Yeah.
After that, after this round is where
It
it's
won't
going
be
to get...
on the other side of the bracket. I guarantee you.
Probably not. And
It's going to be wildly different.
And second rounds are definitely going to be different for you and I.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just looking at the other side, the matchups, and I can tell you right now, we're going to diverge a lot on a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
So that is Snarf Madness East and West bracket.
Okay, where do we go from here? Let's see. What were we going to do?
Well, let's do C2E2.
Okay, yes. C2E2 happened a couple weeks ago now
2 weeks ago.
on a Friday when episode 65 was released. So, yeah, 2 weeks ago. And we left bright and early. Got there right when it opened. And
Kind of.
I mean, we were like 15 minutes late.
No, we were like an hour late.
No, we weren't. It opened at 10. We didn't get there at 11, did we?
Yeah. 10:45.
Jeez. All right.
11 by the time we were checked through with our badges.
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 Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't need no
You
stinking
don't need no
badges.
stinking badges.
It was huge this year.
It was gigantic. I feel
Wasn't
like
it?
it was way bigger than it has been in the
It
past.
seemed like they put so much more stuff in this room, and Artist Alley was enormous.
Yeah.
It's incredible when you go to an event like this and you already think it's big, and then you get to it and it's bigger than what you thought it was. Like how do you go from a big event to a bigger event in the span of a year? I don't know how they do that, but it's incredible. They had so much on the show floor.
We didn't even get close to through all of it.
No, we
Not even
didn't, and we
close.
only got to go one day this year, which was a total screw up on Chris's part. And yeah,
It was really, we could have spent 3 days there easily.
easy. I think everybody should at least spend 2.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people aren't huge into Artist Alley, but even if you aren't going there for the same reasons we are, the art that's through these places is just amazing.
Yeah.
Like what these people do, I don't even know how they do it. I can't look at a piece of paper long enough to like barely write on it, and these guys are spending whole days on the exact same picture. How do you do that?
Yeah.
How does one person sit down and do that? I don't have the patience to do any of it.
It's their job.
It's their love. It's their passion.
It's true.
It's not a
It's
job.
not work. It's not work for them.
So what do you want? Where do you want to start?
Well, when we got there, Alex texted us right away, and I realized, oh shit, Alex isn't working. He should be here with us. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I got no money.
Yeah, but it wasn't that expensive.
It's $35
doesn't matter.
for a day.
I'm broke.
Could have been a Snarf Talk expense.
Yeah, it probably could have been.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. We started off. We went down the show floor, which is just so much different than Wizard World. There's a lot more varying kinds of things. Mm-hmm. There's also the big corporations there, like Marvel and DC, which are also at Wizard, but just in bigger and more at C2E2.
You know what I realized that we did not hit up, and we had talked about it on the episode, that episode that released that day, 65, is that we talked about that $1 million collection.
Yeah,
we never
saw
did
it.
see it.
Yeah.
We never walked by the tables, and that was because we didn't get to a lot of the
We probably didn't get to half the show floor.
tables in the open area, you know, outside of Artist Alley and that part of the room. We did go to a panel in the middle of the day. What was that, like from 1 to 2?
Yeah, somewhere.
We went to a panel. It was about writing comic books. It was with Kyle Higgins, who has written multiple comic books. We talked about him earlier, writing some of Winter Soldier. He wrote Batman Beyond,
Power
Rangers, bunch of stuff. And then James Tinian was there. He's done a crap load of Batman.
And he's
done
writing Batman currently and Justice League.
And he's done a very good job of it.
Yeah.
And then who else was there? There was 2 other writers that I'm not aware of.
The one guy only had one book out.
There's
which I
something
thought was
about
a little
cats,
kinda
like space cats or something.
Yeah.
It was.
odd. I don't think so.
Those are called,
Yes, it was.
Those are called flirkins.
Well, yeah, in the Marvel universe.
Anyway, it was a fine panel. I mean,
It was fine, but it was kind of a waste of time.
yeah.
So it's really hard. What I'm coming to find with these type of things, and I don't know if you are, but I think it's really hard to try to tell someone how to write,
Yeah.
because it's very objective for anybody to write. Like anybody
Subjective.
can, or subjective. Yes. It's very subjective in the way I write compared to the way you write. And they can work together. It's just that you can't tell me.
And there's definitely rules that help
There are, but once
make
you're
good stories. But and they were talking a lot about things you need to do to make a good story. But eventually, I think James Tinian, the Batman writer, he kind of like, he's like, okay, you guys got to stop.
He
He's
did.
Like, you all got to stop what you're talking about, because the guy that runs the panel runs like a comic book writing website. He's like, you got to stop. He's like, this is like, you don't need any of these rules. Like, these are helpful tools for refining your work.
Yep.
But all this does is make it seem too hard. Like, just write a story, and then when you're done, apply maybe these guidelines to it.
Yes.
and then take what doesn't fit in those guidelines and just throw it away. And then, write what you need to patch in. He's like, but if you're trying to like write around this structure, especially as a newer writer, it's just too constraining.
So that was the really refreshing part about the panel, is that
It's the first time I've ever heard a professional writer say that at one of these panels.
I agree. It really was, because all of them are so obsessed with those like rules and staying within these guidelines. But it was refreshing to hear him say, listen, I just put things down, and if it sucks, I throw it away. But you can't get a good story if you don't write it down first. Like, you have to get something on paper no matter what. So whatever's in your head, get it on the paper. Eventually, you're going to mold that into the story you want it to be. But at first, it probably won't be very good.
And the reality is, like, a lot of that is the job of an editor.
Yes.
And
to a point.
A lot of those rules and stuff. But, I mean, I get it. Most writers are their own editors, at least
Yeah.
at first.
Yeah.
But, if you're really writing, even not making any money at it, but if you're producing content, at some point you're going to need an editor.
And we say this a lot about like just getting to it and actually writing. I still feel like we're in a little bit of a different life stage than a lot of these people that are famous writers, but not some of them. Some of them have had regular jobs and are running different, like have multiple irons in the fire, as you would say. And James Tinian isn't one of those people. All he does is write. But it was good to hear him say that he has so many projects going on, and so many people were expecting things of him, and they're saying, you need to meet this deadline, and I need this from you, and you've got to do this, and this is all like coming to a head in December, he said. So the holidays are coming around. He's got to write all this stuff. He's like, and it was just really weighing on me. I had like extreme anxiety about it. He's like, and I had to produce. Like, I had to produce something. And I just thought it was good to hear a professional writer say, listen, I was losing my shit over trying to get something produced, because I'm still a human being and have to actually write this stuff that you guys think is amazing, but I have to get it out on paper, and then it has to be produced.
Yeah, and it's not like a story that he's dying to tell him he's writing Batman. He's writing somebody else's character.
Exactly. You already have an established character, and then you've got to try to make a new, refreshing story out of that character, and it's bound to use the story that's already been used before. You just have to change it a little bit to make it yours, which he talked about as well.
Yeah.
He said, like, or Kyle Higgins was the one who was talking about it with Winter Soldier. Like, the stories are already written. You've just got to try to put your flavor on it or your spin on it, which is another thing that I've talked about before, but I remember saying, like, we need to try to stay away from certain tropes. Bullshit. Like, play into those tropes and make it your own story, because that's the only way you can do it for most things. Even if it's an original story, the trope is still the trope, Yeah,
the only way you can expect to write something that isn't a trope, I mean, you'd have to be like a true level genius.
Yeah, which I am.
But anyway, so that was a little point of the day, and I guess it made more of an impact on us than I thought. But
it does make an impact, but it wasn't. I didn't need it. I didn't need any of that.
Right.
I didn't need to go there. I wanted to go there more so just because James Tinian was there, and then it was like, he's just a normal guy sitting up there.
But we sat right in the front row, center.
We did, waving and woo woo, doing that a lot. They didn't appreciate any of it.
Well, I had like a work emergency during this thing, so I had people texting me, and we're in the front fucking row.
And he sat there texting the entire time.
No, I did not.
Flipping him off.
I was
He's like,
I was trying to be discreet, but like I had to text.
yeah.
To take
They were
care of an
staring
issue.
at you the whole time.
Yeah, maybe.
No, they didn't even look at you. They didn't even know you existed.
Well, Kyle's looked at me and he's like, Chris.
Yeah. Did he?
Get off your
Wearing,
phone.
were you wearing a badge? I guess I didn't know you were wearing a name badge.
Hello, my name is.
Yeah.
What?
My name is.
What? Who?
Slim Shady.
Yeah, that's a Eminem song.
I gotcha.
Chris. Did you know that?
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right. But the show
I
floor
used to
was-
work at Burger King. I get it.
Oh, that's true.
Spitting on the onion rings.
You are an original Slim Shady.
I am.
I
Actually, when I worked at Burger King, I had one of those name tags, and I put Slim Shady on it because it was current.
Wow, you're so cool.
Yeah.
So the other thing that we did when
I
we were
didn't
at
actually.
C2E2,
I put Mike Kinsella on it.
I would believe that.
It's true.
Okay. The other thing we did at C2E2 is found our artist, the guy who's been working with us for a little sticker design.
Yeah, which is going to be coming out soon, hopefully.
Yeah, very soon. And Eric Macias,
Yeah.
Iman Macias on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
At Iman Macias, Macias.
Yeah.
He did another caricature of us.
Yeah, that's
Do you-
awesome.
Do you have it here?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say we could show it to
But
the
you can
people
put it
of
on
YouTube's.
Instagram. I sent you a picture of it.
Yeah, I will. I just wanted to show it to the people of YouTube's first.
But it's
awesome.
It is. It's
I've
really
seen
cool.
it.
I wish it was in color.
I know. I really do wish it was in color too. Maybe we could find a guy to color it.
Alex said he's going to color it.
I did not. I did not
Can you-
say that.
I mean, now that you're not all carpal tunneled,
Yeah, you should be able to totally do it.
now that you're
Do you
detunneled,
ever do those adult coloring books?
Send me a scan of it, and
We won't do it to the original.
no, obviously.
I'll color it.
Yeah. Can you do like your shading and?
Yeah, I'll use all of the 8th grade art skills that I have.
But
and
for
I'll-
real, I mean,
We should have a coloring contest.
could we?
Yes.
We should have a coloring contest.
Can I get it like I can shrink it down to like the size of a regular sheet of paper, right? And then people can print it off.
Yes, that's a good idea.
That is
Snarf
actually-
coloring contest.
Snarf
That
coloring
is actually
contest.
a good idea.
Yeah, so we will be putting out that picture of the
People
new.
love the adult. Like people color now. Marley does it all the time.
Huge de-stressor.
Yeah, she loves it.
I swear to God.
Honestly, Amy and I sit down with the boys and we will color with them for a long time. I love coloring with
Oh,
colored
yeah.
pencils. I'm not a good colorer
I
by
love
any means.
using
But
Sharpies.
we do actually color pretty often, more so than I ever thought until we started talking about it. But
Yeah.
we do color a lot. I should get an adult coloring book. I just color the kids.
2 things. One, the plant actually at one point had like quarterly de-stressing coloring events for people at work.
That's awesome.
It lasted a one time.
No way.
Yeah. Because everyone was like, what?
And it,
Do you
No.
get paid to go
People
there and
didn't-
color?
No, you didn't pay. Well, yeah, you did.
Could
get
you do
paid.
it during your work
Yes.
time?
You could.
Why wouldn't
Why
everybody
would-
do it all the time?
why would they
Or
not
no,
like this?
No, you know what? I don't remember. I don't know exactly how it worked.
If
but
you
it
could
was-
leave your regular work post and go color for an hour, why
no,
wouldn't you do it?
You couldn't leave. There's no way you could leave. That's not how things work.
So
out
how
there.
was it be utilized then?
By management people who could leave their
Oh, okay.
their
Oh.
office. I can't leave.
Like Jerry.
freaking management.
Yeah, I can't leave the floor.
Jerry sends me pictures of him at work all the time with his feet up on his desk.
Well, that's how I sit in the break room.
Every
But
once in
he's
a while.
not at a break room.
Oh.
He's at work.
Well, that's my office.
True.
The break room
You
is my
can't sit in
office.
here with your feet on your desk.
No,
Yes, you could.
I cannot.
You could just go
I
home.
gotta have my feet on the floor at all times and be ready to go.
Why
Okay.
is your boss gonna fire you?
Yeah, you're gonna get fired.
I am my own worst enemy,
Marley gonna fire
my
you?
harshest critic. Mm-hmm. See what I do matters, Jerry. If I don't produce, I go hungry.
Not me.
I don't
Mine's
know,
way
cushy
easier.
government
If
job.
you
Yeah,
don't
mine's way
produce,
easier than
we're
yours.
gonna run out of oxygen.
Yeah,
Keep those
that's
trees
right.
planting.
Yeah, honestly, just keep.
Somebody's got to supply this podcast studio.
All I'm worried about is that you pay your taxes. That's all I'm worried about.
Number 2 is a couple Christmases ago, I got one of the kids like a Batman coloring book. Only it was very adult.
Oh, nice.
So I took the Joker one out.
So naked Batman.
Nice.
No, it was just not
Yeah.
meant for
Right.
a 3-year-old boy or a 6-year-old girl or whatever. However
To
they-
try to color,
Right.
yeah.
So I took the Joker one out, and that morning, Christmas morning, I'm coloring with the kids, and I took it and I put "Love You, Mom" or something like that. I gave it to Mom. It's still on her fridge.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like 28. This is 2 years ago.
I would do it.
Yeah, I would
It
do it
cracks
right
me
now.
up.
I kind of
She
want
still has
that
it.
coloring book now that you talk about it.
Yeah.
I think I got it at Walmart. So
So what were we talking about? Oh, coloring the. So he did a caricature. Eric Macias did our caricature. It's us as Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And we are capturing something.
Yeah.
You'll see it in the drawing.
pretty awesome.
But it's amazing. I like it a lot. We needed to get it colored, but I still think it was worth it. But we met up with him. He gave us our other little drawing, and it was really good. Really good to see him.
Yeah, we didn't meet any celebrities this time. We did see
didn't.
Sam and Gooley.
Yeah, we
We
did.
were we were standing right next to him. He was taking promo pictures.
Yeah, it looked
in
like
the
it.
DC booth because he's got some DC comic crossover stuff
He
coming on.
does.
So that was cool. He looked old.
He did look a little bit old, didn't he?
Yeah,
Tired. War. Beaten.
I wish we would have gotten to take a picture with him for Ian.
I know. I wish I could have talked to him about Ian and given him the link to his.
But we were we were close, and we were right next to him. So the first moment when we even realized he was there, that would have been our opportunity to say something.
It was the only opportunity.
And then he saw us looking at him, I think.
No, I know he looked at us.
When we were trying to be like, wait, is that? We need to go talk to him. We need to tell him about Ian's. And he noticed us that happening.
Yes.
And like quickly started walking away.
He immediately turned, and then they were taking pictures of him, and he just walked away.
Yeah.
Like, just rambled on. And we were like, bye, Svengoolie. We did. Waved, yelled at him. And then what does he always say? Or what's that guy?
Berwin.
Yeah, Berwin. I couldn't think of it.
What else? What else did we see? There was a lot of amazing booths. There's a lot of big gaming areas we didn't really go into.
Oh, a big one that we need to. I need to throw it up online, which I'm going to do this week. Is you doing a 3-minute comic book?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Right as soon as you walked into the event, there was a guy standing there, and he was part of a comic book group, like a webtoons
like a
group,
publisher. They were a web publisher.
Yeah,
for web comics.
So what they were doing is that you had 3 minutes to draw another scene of the comic book story. So they show you a picture, and they're like, "All right, draw the next thing that happens." Page. And you have 3 minutes to do that. They give you all of the supplies in a bag right in front of you, and you get a blank sheet of paper, draw it, color it, and hand it in 3 minutes. And I videotaped the whole thing of Chris tackling the project. It was Spider-Man. I'll spoil it for you right now. And Chris drew a whole scene, whole page of Spider-Man, and it's pretty fun.
Swinging through the city.
Yeah, it was amazing to watch.
I was the second page, and we go there, talk to him. It was right at the beginning of the day.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, I saw a sign. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. We go over there, and he's like, tells us all about it. He's like, there's only been one page drawn so far, so you get to draw the next scene. And I'm like, listen, 3 minutes. I'm like, I'm not an artist. And he goes, yeah, it doesn't matter. And he goes, listen, nobody's an artist. That's the whole point of this. I'm like, okay. So I open it up to because they let you see the pages leading up to it.
Yes.
I open up to the first page, and it is just like uber professional drawing.
It's like
of Spider-Man
really
sitting
is.
on a ledge that literally I would pay for. It was like professional level shit.
It was so good and I thought it was done on purpose that way, just to start the comic, but no, not the case. Somebody drew that in 3 minutes and put it in the book.
It's just a picture of Spider-Man sitting there. It's clearly a comic book artist did it.
Yes.
And it said, a word bubble said responsibility.
Yep.
And I'm like, you also in your 3 minutes you're allotted time to figure out what you're going to draw on top of drawing it.
Yeah, I mean, continuity, or how do you say that? Continuity has to happen. Like it has to try to make sense. But
so he's sitting on a ledge. So I'm like, well, I'll draw him swinging through the city. Well, I couldn't think of anything else. So that's what I did.
So
but it was like a zoomed out set. So I didn't have to. I could just kind of smear some blue and red, and it looks like Spider-Man.
Stick figure
does.
with his arm like this.
Basically, that's what it was.
And you can see buildings in the background. You know what it is. You can clearly see what it is. But
some of the further pages are not as good as mine.
You looked at it?
Yeah.
Because they sent us an email. I never went back and looked at it.
It's not very good.
The comic book?
No.
Well,
what would you expect for 3 minutes?
You wouldn't expect. So that was what I was going to say, is that they were putting up this whole comic book online after everybody did it. How many pages is it?
I can't remember.
20?
Yeah, something like that.
Did they get that many people to do it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Deadpool comes in later on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really great idea that this company had, standing out in front, promoting their business, doing a little bit of
another idea. So we got what was the last thing we were going to, the coloring contest.
Yes.
We should do that, where everybody that listens to Snarf Comics, it's like a revolving story. You get to draw a page, but you can have as much time as you want. Like you can have a week.
That would be fun.
So like for a week, you just got to draw a page of a comic. And then the next week we'll give that. We used to do that in creative writing class. Mm-hmm. We'll give that to Ian, and he can write it.
Yep.
And maybe we could just write it and like outline it, but then we could actually have an artist draw it.
See,
That would be cool.
what I think would be way, like, not cooler, but so in the cases of people who are not artists, go up there and actually draw something. Okay, so you just make Spider-Man a stick figure, whatever. They after everyone does what they do, like if it's really good, like the first panel was, okay, then they just use that. But if it's not great, then they actually have somebody who is an artist take your overall concept, actually draw it,
That'd be cool.
and color it to look good. Mm-hmm. And then they put that whole story together.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what we should do.
That's what I think would be good. Like putting together a comic
We're
like
gonna
that.
do that too.
Why don't you guys just get Jetpack Samurai out?
Yeah.
You know, that's a
You know,
really good idea.
You're supposed to be working for us, A.
Yeah.
And
Every
B,
time
you've
I
been
come
off
here-
work for 2 months, and you could have been working for us the entire time.
I come
and we would have
here
been paying you.
and ask you how the comic is going. And every time it's...
We have 6 kids and jobs and are lazy. And procrastinate.
And a podcast.
And a podcast.
Yeah.
And
Have you
now-
ever been interested in writing? You're good. You're a good writer, like
No.
an imaginative person.
Yeah, you're an
creative person.
Imagineer.
But see, my problem is I would steal too much from other...
That's fine.
What's wrong with that?
That's what you're supposed to
Didn't
do.
we just talk about that?
Yeah, I know. But...
And
whatever
I'm
you want to
What
do.
if
I
we
can give
what
you
if we
ideas.
outlined a comic for you? You think you could write it?
I think I would rather you give me an idea and I outline the comic for you and then you write it.
So writing is the hard part.
At the
That's
same
problem.
time, I do have a lot of free time when I get back to work.
Here's what I want you to start doing. Start keeping an idea journal of comic ideas.
Oh yeah.
An idea journal or a dream journal?
Well,
Both, same thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's not too far.
And
separate.
everybody, listeners, can do this too. And if you come up with some good ideas,
we'll get it written.
we'll get it. We might not write it ourselves, but we might hire a writer to
We
write
will
it.
get it written.
We'll get it written, and we'll work on producing it.
Ooh.
It's expensive to do, but we'll do a fundraiser or something.
Snarf is transitioning to a comic publishing.
That's
company.
what we
no,
started
that's
as.
what Snarf Comics is.
It used to be Snarf Productions when we first started.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do.
Yes.
Because I'm interested more in, not more, but I like the business side.
But
and
it's
that aspect
that's
of it.
always been part of the job. We just thought we needed to get our own comic book produced first and then go from there, because it's hard to not like produce any or not have anything produced from your company and try to get people to come in and have us produce it. You know what I mean? Because you have nothing to back that up with.
Yeah. But I'd love to hire writers or help people produce books. And because it's hard to write a book, but it's more hard to publish a book and to have all the connections for
Right.
the letters, the colors, that's the organization and that's the business side of it.
Yep.
And businessy things are what I'm good at more than writing.
Are you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Really?
think
I
he's.
think I got a track record.
I think he's all right. I don't know.
I guess,
It's
kind of.
yet to be seen.
I mean,
So C2E2?
Let's
else?
see. What else did we do? So we talked about Svengoolie, the artist guy.
What were like on the show floor? Anything stand out to you? There's lots of comics. We didn't stop and look at any books. Jerry had
Oh
to
my gosh.
pull me back.
Yeah, I wanted to go in there too and look at comics, but we didn't. We never looked at any of the comic books that were there. It kind of hurts me a little
Yeah.
to say that we didn't do that.
The show
but-
floor was great, but after so many of these, it's a lot of the same booths at every one. So you kind of, which is cool because you get to you're familiar with the people and the whole atmosphere.
Yes.
Artist Alley, which was what was amazing because at C2E2, it's a whole different world than Wizard World. Wizard World's a joke compared to C2E2
It really is.
when it comes to Artist Alley
I mean,
specifically.
it's not a joke. It's good to go to. We like it. We enjoy going to it. But yeah, Artist Alley is just
It's
chock full of stuff.
real creators versus Wizard, which is a lot of people selling prints that they've drawn.
So we went to a podcast meetup.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Podcasters meetup right off the bat.
That was
we
great.
went to that at noon, and that was a really good time meeting new people and getting involved with other podcasters, especially in our area. So a big thing was there was a bunch of people in Joliet, Shorewood, like Tinley Park, up that way that are doing things. Yorkville or Oswego. There's a guy in Oswego that does that I honestly want to get involved with. He does.
Yeah, we need to make it a point to get in touch with those people.
Yeah.
You have all the cards.
I do. I got them all on my desk. He does a sketch comedy show as a podcast, and they're like 3 to 5 minutes, but it's a 30-minute show, so there's multiple little sketches inside there that he wants voice actors for and people to write sketches for. And I think that would be amazing. I think it would be amazing to be involved with. I told him about a story that Chris and I have already like started writing that I think would be hilarious. I don't know how you fit that in a 3 to 5 minute sketch, but it could be a reoccurring thing. I think like each floor it could be reoccurring. I'm not going to give away the idea, but it's something that I've loved for a long
I know
time.
what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think
talk.
we've talked about
we
it.
could talk
It's got
about
a
it.
little bit to do with IKEA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
You have talked about it.
have we?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, I want to do that as a little sketch comedy.
I want to
think
do it
was-
as a comic.
we could still do that, but I think it would be hilarious to act out, and have somebody as a Swedish meatball monster and the what's the other thing that I thought of? What's the thing with a bullhead and a
Minotaur.
minotaur? Yeah.
Not a centaur.
Are you guys saying elephant?
centaur.
No. A minotaur.
Senator.
I'm calling back to the last episode
Yeah.
where we talked about senators.
Centaurs
did?
versus minotaurs. Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay.
So we were talking about the federal government.
Yes.
Anyway,
Now I remember.
I just listened to it today. That's
So
why.
we did a meetup, met a lot of people. I think it was really
There
great
was a
to
cool
connect.
guy we talked to from the Ghostly podcast.
Yes.
And they're pretty popular. And then the people that were running it have like a production company. And we're going to get involved with those guys and probably do... They do a bunch of live podcasts up in Elgin at a Doctor Who cafe.
Yeah. What is not to like about that?
And they seemed really cool in general. And there was a couple associations or Facebook group organizations that we're going to join up with. Chicago Podcasters United and something else.
Yeah. All I could keep thinking of is like Chicago Podcasters Authority,
Yeah.
CPA.
Well...
I don't know why, but that's not
it really
what it's called
seems
at all.
like
Let's-
that's the best way for us to. We really need to get involved in the community. That's what helps grow the show. And these people they're really supportive of each other. So
They are, and I'm very supportive of them. I like everything that they're doing. I think it's great ideas, and I just want to get involved.
And we'll probably be advertising a lot of these guys' shows as we kind of get more involved in the group, because I feel like the only way to get people to help us is to help them.
Sure.
But we did get to talk to Chuckload of Comics.
We did stop at Chuckload of Comics booth. They get a corner booth that was really awesome.
They're
They were
broadcasting live all day, doing interviews. And
So Chuckload of Comics is a YouTube podcast. They do a lot of news. It's basically a news podcast, but around comic book news, pop culture. Basically the same thing that we talk about, but they do it on YouTube. And they were there. We had met them last year at Wizard World, right?
Yeah.
And then we met up with them again at C2E2. Great people.
big news. I mean,
Yes.
they really kind of asked us to go in with them
With a booth.
with a booth for next year. So they want to double the size of their broadcast booth, and then they can have multiple podcasts, either broadcasting live at the same time or alternating or something
Yes.
like that. And there would be other podcasts involved too. And they were loaning their booth out to other podcasters.
They were on
And
Sunday.
If we would have probably gotten involved with them ahead of time, we probably could have joined up with them
Yeah.
a little bit. But we were talking about how we thought we'd have a booth the next year. It'd be cool to have them in the same area. So there was kind of like a podcaster's corner.
Yep.
And he said, well, forget it. Let's just go together and get a bigger booth and we'll all do it together. And I think it's a great idea.
I'm 100% on board with that. I think it's a great idea. They were pulling in a lot of people to interview that we would love to talk to. It's all in the same genre of what we want to do.
Yeah, they were talking to Cullen Bunn.
Yeah, Colin
Sven
Bunn
Gooley
on
was on them.
there. Yep.
A lot
A lot
cool-
of good people.
So I think I know last year they talked to like Lou Ferrigno and Kevin Sorbo at Wizard.
They did. And talk about people that blew up over the last year. So when we met them at Wizard World last year, they had like 100 subscribers, I think, maybe 80, 100. And now they're in the thousands.
Yeah.
And just over the wintertime, they had a huge boom in popularity, and they're doing it. But they got like nose to the grindstone. They got a lot of videos coming out. They do a lot of little segments.
Oh yeah, they work way harder than we do.
They do. It's like their full-time job, which I applaud them. They're doing a very good job at what they're doing. So check them out on YouTube. They do good stuff.
Yeah, subscribe. They always come out with pretty like breaking news.
Yes,
a lot of times
they really do. They've got what is it called? A finger on the pulse
Yeah.
of stuff.
So that was cool. We did the Artist Alley. We did meet several cool artists. One that stands out to me, I actually bought a couple amazing prints.
Yes.
Was Brianna
Yep.
Garcia.
Brianna, I would assume. Yes. Brianna Garcia.
And we talked to her. I got an amazing.
She was dressed up like Ray.
Yeah, I got two amazing prints. One was Spider-Man and Rapunzel hanging upside down. Rapunzel from her hair,
Tangled.
Spider-Man from
That's pretty cool.
his web, and I don't know. He's
just
got a
hit-
word bubble that says like hi.
No, she had a word bubble that said hi, and he's got just a question mark next to his head.
And it's the art is amazing. I'm gonna put it up on
It is
Instagram
so good.
because the art is unbelievable. I'm gonna frame it and hang it on my daughter's wall. And then I got another one that was Elsa and Anna dressed as Thor and Loki.
Which is awesome. And she said, she's like, I'm a huge fan of mashups. I like to mash up different characters from different things. And she does such a good job of it.
So we talked to her and we actually asked her. Jerry asked her, he's like, would you be interested in doing like something for us, like for work, for
Yeah.
hire? We told her about Jetpack Samurai. She totally thought it was awesome.
She did.
She's like, I work full time for IDW, which we're like, of course you do. Like, well, we're idiots.
Well, when I asked, the first question I asked her is if she did any sequential art, because she didn't have any out there, and we had never really seen her before. She wasn't selling any. So I said, do you do any sequential art, which is what the art is called in comic books. It's not like just doing a cover
Right.
or a portrait. You have to tell a story, right? And she like kind of looked at me funny, and she's like, well, yeah, I work for IDW full time, which IDW is a comic book producer company. And I was like, oh, well, I was not aware of this. Sorry.
she probably writes Ghostbusters.
And so she does
it's an
draws.
IDW book.
Draws, not writes.
Well, yeah.
Well, she
so-
might write, I guess, but
Yeah.
she's doing a lot of drawing.
So we looked her up, and she's got 100,000 Instagram followers.
She does. Yeah, she
She's
does.
like real, like famous. We
Yep.
we saw a lot of famous artists and writers.
But I gave her our information. I gave her a card and a sticker, and I said, well, maybe, I said, when we email you, because we're going to, I said, maybe you'll remember us because of because of the sticker. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll attack her on
Hey,
email.
it's the goat people.
Yeah, exactly.
We saw. I mean, out of all the artists are amazing, but I mean, we saw probably half a dozen, 10 artists that we just looked at and we're like, this is exactly what we want.
And it seems like, so she has a very distinct style of drawing, but it seems like that style of drawing was very prevalent this year in Artist Alley. Like there's a lot of people that were somewhat similar. I mean, there's a little bit of changes here and there on some of their lines, like, like a pointy nose compared to a rounded nose or something like that. But the style of drawing was similar.
yeah.
And I haven't seen a ton of that in years past, but all of a sudden this year it blew up. A lot of people are doing that. It's great.
One big thing that was very prevalent this year was Disney princesses.
Yes.
Like to an extent I have never seen before.
No, it just came out of nowhere.
Everywhere. And I know they're super popular, but that was like the go-to prints being sold.
Yep.
And they were selling.
Oh,
hardcore.
like crazy.
And a lot of them are really good, but also there's a lot of interesting spins you can do with Disney princesses. So they're all doing mashups that are interesting.
Yes. It's very eye-catching.
But we didn't talk to a lot of other people, but we did talk to Cullen Bunn briefly. I don't know if you remember that. I talked to him about Metro.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I do remember that.
We saw Chris Claremont.
I kept walking.
We saw Gene Ho. Gene Ha.
Yes.
We saw a lot of cool people. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had
We
a really
talked to
great
that
time.
one guy. He caught my eye because he had a big banner and he said, "Talk to me about my 20 years of obscurity in
yes.
the comic book industry," or something like that.
Yeah. Yes. 20 years in comics, and
No one knows me.
20 years of obscurity or something like that.
yes.
And we were just laughing about it. I'm like, "Oh, that's genius!" And he's like, "Well, come over and let's talk about it."
Yeah.
We talked to him for like 15 minutes.
And he's a really good artist too.
Yeah, he was a super cool guy. Lives in Florida. Him and his wife are both there, and he has been working in comics for 20 years. And then one day he's like, "I want to be an actor." So he started acting.
Yeah.
And driving up to Atlanta, which is where they make everything now. And he's like been in a ton of stuff. He's got a ton of stuff coming out.
Yeah, he's in a TV show, like a TV show with a reoccurring character. Apparently, he said he's going to be in a few more episodes. But we follow him on Instagram now. I got on there and followed him. He's doing some really good work. And I can't remember. We were talking. I gave him our card and sticker, and I I can't remember if he had said like to get a hold of him or whatnot, but I probably will anyways.
Well, I was gonna back his Kickstarter for his new book.
That's what it was. I knew we had something that we were gonna do with him, but yeah, he had a new book coming out. It's really fun to run into these type of people. So like just like him, he's been at it for 20 years, been doing things. He's making money. He's doing what he likes. And then out of nowhere, he's just like, I'm not going to draw anymore. I'm going to just try to act. And he's doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really neat.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's most of the highlights. It was weird. We did a whole time warp. We went to that panel.
I was telling Amy this just
So like
the other day.
2 or
3
3 o'clock that got over. And then we went down. We met with Eric to do our caricature. And then we had to wait a little bit. Kind of walked around a little. We met with him. We did a caricature. We walked around a little more. We talked to Chuckload of Comics.
Yeah. Well, I remember saying like, oh, let's go see Chuckload of Comics booth. We forgot they were there. Walked over there, talked to him. And you looked down and he wanted to get a beer is what it was. And he's like, are they still open? They close at 7 or close at 6:30 or something. And you looked at your watch and you're like, dude, it's 6:38. And you looked at me so seriously. It was so funny. This is what I was just telling Amy. He is so serious looking at me. He's like, did we time warp? Did we do a time jump? For real, did we time warp? It's just like, I think we did. Because it
was just like over. It was like 3 o'clock. We get out of the panel, and then it was over.
And it was over.
And then it was 7 o'clock.
And it felt like we had went really nowhere, but we spent, what was it, 3.5 hours, almost 4 hours of actually, doing things. It's just so immersive. The atmosphere is so immersive when you get really into it. And I can't tell people enough. Even if you don't have to be a comic book fan. You don't have to be a Marvel movie fan. Just go there and experience that because it is so fun. You'll find something that you enjoy. The people that are around there, super nice. Everybody at the booth. We stood and talked to a lady about getting elf ears.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like there is a company that makes their own elf ears and they will customize them to your head. And it's like, I don't need them. I need no elf ears. I'm not into that.
They put them on you there at the show and they blend it in.
Yeah.
They're like a special kind of material. They blend it in. They do all this stuff.
And you can order them from them, though.
Yeah. And then you can get beard glitter, too.
Yes. A lot of beard.
They'll glitter your beard. They're going to do it at Bristol Renaissance Fair.
Yep.
So when we do our Snarf Talk road trip,
because
you got to go on this year.
You got to let me know well in advance when it's going to happen.
Well,
we don't really know yet.
Well, no, not right now, but we can plan it.
Yeah.
We could plan it now and make sure it's solidified.
I have an extravagant amount of vacation to use up this year, so
you didn't use it
what
all
are
in
you
the
doing
last 3
right
months?
now?
This is all disability, man.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
And I rolled over a week's vacation from last year.
All right.
So I got an extra week.
Oh, well, we only need 1 day.
Hey, I got it for you.
Okay.
And I know Seed and Tops are in, so.
Oh, yeah. They'll definitely
And
be
Heather
there.
even said she'd be in.
Oh, of course. How could you not? It's
She
fun,
better
dude.
be.
It's awesome. Me and Jerry dressed up as knights and sword fought each other.
We did. Did that get on?
No.
That hasn't got on
No.
YouTube
I need
yet.
to put that on YouTube.
Yeah, we did.
It's all videoed.
And it came down to the last
The last blow.
The last blow. The last fight.
It was like
we were tied.
Like they tied balloons to your head.
I knocked you down once.
You did knock me down. He bull rushed me and put a shoulder into me and knocked me down. He came at me like a spider monkey.
Hey, don't
I swear to God.
underestimate a little guy, okay?
He
That's all I
came
can
at
say.
me with a flourish so intense that I took a step back and I fell down.
I was all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Come at you like a spider monkey. Yeah, it was fun. It's fun to do.
Yeah.
Actually, I talked about buying swords. Or no, wasn't there like a sword fighting training or something there at C2E2?
Oh yeah, there was. Yeah.
Because I said maybe we should take that training so when we go back to Bristol Renaissance Fair, have like an actual sword fight.
Yeah.
Like legit.
I want
sword fight.
broadswords this time. They give you like
Absolutely.
foils.
They do.
Not broadswords.
Like fencing stuff that are fake, but you could only swipe down at your head. Like
yeah,
you couldn't.
there was a little wiggle room.
Yeah, there was. But
Nobody really cared.
they weren't. What are they going to do? Kick us out?
I'm sure if it's two people that know each other, they're gonna be like, all right, well,
Yeah, I don't care if you lose an eye.
it's your friendship.
No, but you're literally in a full suit of
Yeah,
armor.
it's a helmet, and the rest is like padding. It's like pads.
Oh, that's right. It was. I was thinking chainmail
No.
at first, but no, it's like a big, thick, padded suit.
Yeah.
Either way, it was awesome. I loved it. It was very fun, and I would do it again.
Also, the cosplay this year at C2E2 I thought was really good. I think it wasn't like so overwhelmingly
Honestly,
Deadpool and Harley Quinn.
Oh
which
yeah,
is what you normally is.
but honestly, it didn't strike me. I didn't really see anything that blew me away this
I
year.
don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff, but yeah, usually it's like Joker, Harley Quinn, and Deadpool.
Yes,
I didn't see a single Joker. I was surprised by that. You always see a lot of Ghostbusters
I didn't either.
because there's like that whole Chicago Ghostbusters
Yeah.
organization.
I didn't see very many Jedi. Normally, you'd see a Jedi here and
Saw
there.
a lot of Rey. Saw a lot of We saw a lot of Jedi.
Did we?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't pay attention to it as much, but
Some
normally I see
Transformers.
something every single time I go there. At least one or two costumes that really blow me away. That somebody has put a ton of work into, and it's just like striking how good it is. And I didn't see that this time. To me.
We saw a very intense Sonya from Street Fighter.
We did.
I'm not gonna get too in depth, but it was a very revealing outfit with a little turn of a surprise.
There was a surprise involved, and it was interesting. But you see all types, at the show, and they're all welcome.
I'll tell you about it off air.
That's fine.
It was a good time.
So that's about it on that.
That's about it on the show.
Well-
Unless you wanted to go over 2 hours.
I think I'm good, but I know Alex isn't going to be here for a while, and he
Okay.
hasn't got to talk a lot.
Well,
So
I have
you want to do
one-
some what Alex is watching,
I can.
or whatever you want to do.
No. I just had a question / suggestion.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Perfect.
Because you guys said something about Patreon.
Yes.
If you guys are up for it, I mean, I got nothing to do.
Okay.
So if you guys wanted to do another half-hour Patreon of just what we've been watching, riff things, Knives Out conversation, I'm down for that.
Well, I feel like we want that on the normal podcast.
That's main.
though.
That's
But
main material. I feel like.
Okay.
We could
All
do
right.
something else I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, what I've been watching, one is a couple weeks ago I randomly got back into the Daniel Craig James Bonds.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched 3 of them. Or no, I watched all 4 of them, and then they were over, and I just thought to myself, I have never actually officially watched any of the old James Bonds.
Oh really?
So I immediately went to Walmart, spent $80, and got the entire 24-disc set.
Oh come on, they
On
all got to
Blu-ray.
be on something.
No,
Yeah, they have
they're
to be.
not.
They're not like
They're
on
not.
HBO or
Nope.
anything.
I looked heavily before I did this. So
I know
I've watched-
occasionally like on FX or one of those channels they'll run like a movie marathon, but you'd have to record them.
Right. So I just got into the Roger Morris.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite.
It's amazing to me to see where movies have come.
Oh yeah.
Isn't
like,
it?
Like what was so risky back in the 60s of Sean Connery just passionately kissing a woman
Yes.
is like now that's Daniel Craig completely taking a woman to bed
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
completely naked.
Well, if you just look at like the more modern ones, right? So even like the Pierce Brosnan ones from before Daniel Craig, like they look like a joke of a movie compared to the new
Well, they are
movies.
because none of
The budgets.
none of the Brosnan films follow the original Ian Fleming
Oh really?
books. Absolutely none of them have anything to do with the actual books.
Do all of the movies have follow the books? I didn't realize that.
Majority of them.
Huh.
Majority of the
Oh, I guess I
Connery,
didn't-
Majority of the Morris.
I wasn't aware of that either.
Yeah. And all the Daniel Craig ones are starting to go back into the...
I knew a
Ian
lot of
Fleming
those
books.
were, yeah. I know Casino Royale was for sure,
Yeah.
but I didn't know if like Skyfall and those were actually books.
That's all part of it.
Wow. I'm excited for the
Loosely,
new movie that's
but-
coming out.
Which, a little bit of news,
but got set back.
because of the deadly coronavirus.
Is it because of Corona?
Yes.
It is specifically because of coronavirus.
Because they think it's going to keep people away from theaters.
There are 2 things. One, it's rumored that there are multiple people on the set of the film, because they haven't completely closed production yet, that have coronavirus. So they're pushing it back. And
7 months.
yeah, that was the real kick in the balls. And apparently the entire James Bond fan site petitioned to have it pushed back because of the risk of coronavirus at the movie releases.
Because they didn't want to bomb.
Correct. So they didn't just do like a month or a couple weeks. They did 7 months. So it was supposed to come out the first week of April. It's now coming out in the first week of November.
The problem that's going to happen is if
crazy.
coronavirus dies down over the summer, but then comes back with a vengeance in the fall, like they're saying it might.
Oh my God, I'm so sick of the coronavirus. It's not even. If you look at the coronavirus versus influenza A, B, or C, it's so minimal.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I was looking at some real statistics the other day. It really only gets old people.
Yeah.
If you're under 50 years old, the death rate is under 0.5%. But at 80 and over, it's like 14 or 15%.
But it's such a skewed.
It's just weird how it
Well,
I mean,
you
I
guys
know
talked about it
they
last-
all disproportionately affect older people, but this one more so, it seems like.
Well, you guys talked about it, about how, yes, more people have coronavirus, so therefore more people have died from coronavirus versus bird flu or whatever.
Right.
But
Yeah, percentage is still pretty low on how many people it's killed versus how many people it's infected.
They're still estimating it could be 40 to 70% of Earth's population is going to get it.
That's what they're estimating?
One Harvard economist is estimating between 40 and 70% of the Earth's population will get it.
hey, maybe that's why you and I are coughing.
Oh my
We could have
gosh.
coronavirus.
You might have it right now. I was just at Comic-Con.
That's amazing.
You were just at Disney.
Yeah, but I don't. That was a while ago.
Hey, I got sick
Well, the
shortly
virus
after I hung out with you.
the
after we
virus
got back.
starts before you ever know it.
Yeah.
Right. So a little stretches my springs, which will merge into the other things that I've been watching. My DVR completely took a crash, which
What'd you have on it?
an entire season's worth of Preacher.
Oh my God, that's so funny because I had mine too. I had to get a new one, and I lost 2 seasons of Preacher, and all the seasons of Legion.
They're on Hulu.
Are they?
Preacher is anyway. I'm sure Legion is because that's FX, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
FX.
it is.
So I
All that's on Hulu?
I contacted DirecTV and I was like, "Hey, what the hell happened?" "Oh, we don't know. You must have deleted them or nothing recorded right." I'm like, "All right, well, for one, 15 of these are Disney Channel movies that my kids have watched 100 times, and I know everything was fine with them."
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. There's nothing. Once they're deleted, the only thing you can do is go back and find them and record them at another time. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And that was the only reason why I've been keeping you guys. So I'm going to cancel my. So probably next week I'll have Hulu Live and we'll completely be cord free.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I went cord free a while ago and I enjoy it.
Now you gonna do Hulu Live or Netflix or YouTube Live?
I'm going to do Hulu Live
Okay.
because
It's expensive.
it's about $60.
Cheaper than DirecTV.
I thought
but
it was like
still.
$45 a month.
Why not just get your antenna channels over the air and then just pay the $12 for Hulu and Disney Plus?
Well,
And-
see, I do that now, but so one big thing is the main show that Heather and I watch most frequently is the Jokers, Impractical Jokers.
Okay, yeah.
The only way to get that is through Hulu Live.
Sling. You could probably do Sling.
Yeah, but when you look at what Sling offers versus Hulu Live,
You get 4 channels for $20. Yeah.
well, and you could spend an extra 15 and get everything,
Right.
and have a 200-hour DVR. And
Oh, I didn't realize you got all that with Hulu Live.
Mm-hmm.
You get a box?
no, it's cloud
Oh, I gotcha.
DVR.
Well, how's that different
I didn't
than...
know that.
I'm pretty sure
How's that different than just streaming?
it's almost similar to streaming. Only if you pay for Hulu Live, it opens up like a handful more channels
Okay,
and
gotcha.
more recent shows and stuff.
And it changes some of the, like, you can get primetime shows the day after they air.
right away, basically.
No,
But
no
then they'd be
commercials.
right away, yeah.
No
And no
commercials.
commercials.
So because of that, I've been diving deep into like Netflix and stuff like that. Altered Carbon season 2 came out.
I really want to watch it.
I know.
You guys really need to watch it because it is an incredible sci-fi show. It's very good.
Do they alter anything?
From season 1 to season 2?
No, just in general.
Carbon.
Is it just carbon, or do they do like dress alterations or?
Well, it's body
Yeah.
alterations.
Body alterations.
So
That's the whole thing.
Wow.
The whole premise of the show is it's wow. All right, Owen Wilson. Is it's set like 300 years in the future, and your consciousness, so they call them DHF stacks, so digital human freight. So basically, your
Wow.
entire consciousness is loaded in this little disc implanted in the back of your neck at birth, and before, as your body starts to die, they plug that out. And
But only the rich people.
basically,
Yeah, it's only that's what I thought. I had watched a couple episodes
People like
of this.
Jerry.
I need to
Yeah.
get into it.
1%ers.
yeah.
If we'd hurry up
People
with
that
these
wear
shows,
suits.
I could watch more TV, but we just record for hours.
But season 2 is very good. Anthony Mackie, very good.
He's in the second season, but he's not in the first, right?
Correct. First season is Joel Kinnaman.
He's all over the place, man, because he's in the newest Black Mirror season too.
Is he?
Yeah,
I
in
don't
one,
watch that
one
show.
of the episodes. Really good episode he's in.
And then I heard of a little game show called Awake on Netflix.
Awake?
Awake. It's a $1 million game show. So it starts with you spend 24 hours counting quarters for 24 hours, and then that plays an entire premise. And then throughout the show, like you have to
Stay awake?
Well, yeah. So you're already awake for 24 hours, but then they have like hand-eye coordination things, or
That's dangerous.
or memory thing. As a person
it
who
isn't.
works swing shift,
Not 24 hours, but I'm saying you start to get over like 48 hours, right? People immediately, they've done studies on it. We learned about it in psychology. After 48 hours, people start devolving into like
yeah, you don't have to tell me.
crazy stuff.
Madness.
Because usually about one day a month when I go into my first midnight shift, I'm up for at least 30 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there watching this show. I'm like, I could very easily do all of this with
Yeah.
little to no issue.
Yeah, most swing shift people have the ability to do that kind of stuff pretty well, just because you're like it's so normal to you to do.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever done that long of a stretch. I know I've done like 48 hours straight working, but like in a tractor, but with like a 1 hour
Yeah,
or 2 hour break to sleep a little bit.
I've done 36 hours straight with no sleep. That's the longest I've ever done. Well, that was on a mission too when we were deployed. It was
To
like
Mars.
literally a 36-hour mission where we never got out of the vehicle. It was a nightmare. That was like the worst thing of my life. Was sitting in a vehicle, trapped in a vehicle, like right next to another person. You can't sleep. It was like what nightmares.
See,
are
I've
made
done
of.
that. When we drove from Wisconsin to Huntington Beach, California, and back, it was like 40-something hours straight. We never stopped driving, but one
Alternated
person would
sleep.
drive, one person would sleep in
Right.
the back, and
Yeah.
alternate.
But I don't know. To me, the hardest part would be literally counting quarters for 24 hours straight.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
that
That,
absolutely.
that to me is the hardest part. Everything after that,
I don't care how much
To
the
be
game
honest,
show's
that's-
for. At that point, I'd be like, nah,
yeah,
I would
not
do
worth it.
I would do it.
I would do it if they're like, we guarantee you $100,000.
Yes. If you were guaranteed something, I would do it. But I'm not. That doesn't even sound. It honestly doesn't even sound fun to me, or something like a challenge I want to try to
Sounds
do.
like a Mr. Beast YouTube.
Kinda,
yeah,
yeah.
it does.
I like those.
I do
Mr.
too.
Beast is pretty.
He's pretty good,
to
pretty
watch.
entertaining.
Have you seen the one where he puts his hands in the bullet ant gloves? Like it's a rite of passage in this. It's a tribe somewhere in South America, I believe. I don't quite know which tribe it is, but the rite of passage as a man is to go through this ceremony. Like they dance around a little bit. They have to eat, drink this. It's kind of like a beer, but apparently it does not taste very good because he did not enjoy it. But they drink this thing, and then they have to put both hands into like wicker gloves, but it's full of bullet ants. And bullet ants are known as like the most painful bite or sting. I think it's a sting on Earth. There's a scale for that too, and a man went around finding these bugs that are on the scale, and he rated them. So that's the scale they go by, and the bullet ant is the worst. You stick your hand in all of these bullet ants, and you have to dance around for like 5 minutes with them on your hands, just dancing around in a circle. And you can't cry, you can't like yell or scream. You just have to have like blank face and dance around this circle. Otherwise, you don't
You're
don't
not a
get the
man?
rite of passage for this tribe. Yeah, you're not a man. So that's what they do. All these people are dancing around with these gloves on their hands, and his face, he gets like purple, like legit purple. And after they get the gloves off, you can see his hands weren't real swollen, but they started to swell up later, and he immediately went to the hospital after this because he's just like, I cannot take this. But his hands you could see where stings and bites were all over him. But afterwards, he was like like hallucinating, like legit hallucinating from the pain, and he couldn't even like form sentences and talk to the camera and he's trying to, but he starts like drooling really bad. His eyes are watering. It was nuts. And he made it. He did it. So that's fun. That's a competition I would do.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because I could make it. I'm a man.
You got anything else?
I caught a show today. It was Magic for Humans or something like that.
I've been wanting to watch that.
It's
because I love magic.
Well, he's been on like Facebook and YouTube. That guy.
I think I've seen that guy before.
Justin
yeah.
Williams.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, they're 20-minute episodes. They're real quick.
It's no David Blaine.
I love magic.
But it's pretty cool.
You can watch a magic show. Like Penn and Teller, that magic show. I love that one.
It's really good.
What's it called?
Something.
Fool
Stump.
Us? Fool Us or something.
To stump
the chump.
Stump the tellers.
Query the Jerry.
No. Can you
dig it?
Fool me? That's what it's called.
So I think that's it. But yeah, we're gonna do a little Patreon bonus episode after this. So if you are so inclined, go over to patreon.com/snarfcomics and subscribe, and you're gonna get an exclusive podcast. And we're going to be amazingly entertaining. And I'm gonna start off our bonus podcast by making a massive correction.
A massive correction.
Snap.
A world-changing correction.
Okay.
Which you're going to win, and I'm going to lose.
Oh.
I'm going to win.
Yeah, you've defeated me.
MG.
This is huge.
There is something that I have said past in this podcast.
This is huge.
That was met with a little bit of, I won't say disdain by Jerry, but disagreement.
Okay.
And I steadfastly stood by what I was saying. Mm-hmm. And I've now realized the folly of my ways.
And you've got to reel it all back in.
The error that I made. So
Okay.
I'll admit that to Jerry.
And you're going to put your tail between your legs.
Public retraction.
Yeah, retraction on Patreon. And maybe we can do our Knives Out review on Patreon. I don't know.
Yeah, we
why
might
not?
throw her out there.
We might throw it out there.
We
We'll
might
see
do
what
it both. I don't know.
goes. And I got a
Great.
bunch of other what you're watching, but we'll have to save it for the next episode.
Yeah, that'll be on the next episode of a regular episode of Snarf Talk.
Yeah. So for Snarf Talk this week, I've been Chris.
I'm Jerry.
I've been a bearded Alex, and it's going away.
Oh, no. That's terrible.
I too have a clean shaven policy. But thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I really
No
needed
problem.
this.
That's Snarf Talk. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
See you.
See you.